Daila Mountain. One of the divine mountains is enveloped in mist formed by the aura of heaven and earth with treasures everywhere. But at the same time, the beasts are rampant, posing dangers from today. Tuit Makneem, along with Chui Sun and Tao Lao, entered the mountain to search for Long Huit Chi, seeing countless amounts right in front of them. Chui Sun immediately lost his composure and rushed straight to the pond ahead, wanting to gather as much as possible. He was picking mushrooms while making a lot of noise, foolishly ultimately disturbing the beasts under the pond. By the time Tao Lao ran over to stop him, it was already too late. The ferocious monster had risen from the water. Chui Sun, who was previously bold, now could only scream for help, still unwilling to let go of the Long Huit Chi. Tao Lao ordered Tuit Makneem to rescue Chui Sun while he would handle the black dragon beast. However, its strength seemed to far exceed his, making Tao Lao struggle immensely. Realizing he couldn't win, Tao Lao quickly directed Tuit Makneem and yelled to Chui Sun, "Run away!" Then he was struck by the black dragon beast with a full-force blow, truly a pitiful sight. With lightning speed, it charged at the two remaining people. When Tuit Makneem thought that fate had destined her to stay here today, her savior appeared. A strong young man with an arm enhanced by the secret technique of Thung Vim Bate Tuot had appeared. Then he simply used a powerful punch to strike the head of the black dragon beast, causing it to fall immediately. Tuit Makneem and Chui Sun could only stand in silence upon witnessing this scene. Tao Lao, on a first-star martial general, had been defeated by that beast. Yet this person didn't even bother with a weapon. Just one punch took down the monster. Indeed, the Thung Vim Bate Tuot is powerful, allowing me to defeat the black dragon beast, despite being at a lower level. After landing, this young man seemed very satisfied with his punch. He then noticed two strangers looking at him and asked, "Who are you?" The strength of this unfamiliar young man made Chui Sun and Tuit Makneem involuntarily step back a few paces, cold sweat dripping from their heads. He stated that he also considered himself a resident of Daila Mountain. But before he could clarify the identities of the two, the beast behind him suddenly opened its eyes. It turned out it was not dead yet. It had only been briefly knocked out. However, the young man did not seem surprised or scared at all. Instead, he sighed in frustration. The strength was too inferior. Risking everything just allowed him to knock it out for a moment. But there's no need to panic because my grandfather is very reliable. As soon as he finished speaking, the black dragon beast was struck by a sharp sword, severing its head. This time, it truly had no chance of rising again. The beast's blue blood sprayed all over the young man, making him look extremely disheveled. After that, an older man gracefully lowered a sharp sword next to him. "Grandpa, you've gotten me all covered in blood," the young man complained. "Isn't it because I rushed to save you? Hurry and pull the teeth of that black flood dragon out, then come back to the inn. It's not convenient to talk here." He also began to notice the presence of the two unfamiliar guests. Seeing that this man was even more terrifying than the young man earlier, Tuit Makneem and Chui Sun took a few more steps back. At this moment, they suddenly heard a familiar voice. "Tuit Makneem, Chui Sun, stay away from them a bit." Turning to the left, it turned out that Tao Lao was still alive. It turns out that not only was there that black flood dragon, but also him. Indeed, there is fortune in disaster. Although Tao Lao's injuries were severe, and his face was completely disfigured, it was still good that he was alive. He mumbled, "You are one of the 6 monsters of the Wu Nai Inn, the poisonous needle sword demon taking lives. Don't blink, you two, hurry and run. Leave this to me. Even if I have to risk my old life, I must take care of Tao Lao." Even before finishing his sentence, he was punched by the poisonous needle sword demon and sent crashing into a nearby tree. Seeing him being treated like this, Tuit Makneem couldn't help but grit her teeth. But she and Chui Sun were even less of a match for those two. In the blink of an eye, they were bound by the power of the poisonous needle sword demon to the point where they couldn't breathe. A martial girl and 2 mediocre martial masters, the poisonous needle sword demon questioned, "What are you 3 doing at Daila Mountain?" Under this invisible pressure, Tuit Makneem immediately spat out a mouthful of blood. The young man was afraid someone would lose their life, so he stopped his grandfather. "Grandpa, don't just take people's lives like that." But the poisonous needle sword demon said he was only restraining Tuit Makneem, that the spitting blood had nothing to do with him. Furthermore, if he wasn't mistaken, Tuit Makneem possessed the extremely rare 9 yin body. It's just that her level is too low, so she can't suppress the yin energy that this physique generates. And Daila Mountain is a place of cold yin. Tuit Makneem must not be clear about her own physique. Coming here and daring to stimulate the martial soul led to the sudden outbreak of cold poison. The 9-yin body is extremely rare. This girl is valuable. Saying this, the poisonous needle sword demon waved his hand, sending Tuit Makneem flying straight into her grandson's face. Chu Wai-sun went crazy seeing this scene. He had liked Tuit Makneem for a long time. How could he swallow this anger? "What do you want? Hurry and release Tuit Makneem," he shouted. The poisonous needle sword demon moved closer once again, questioning Chu Yi-sun about why the three of them came to Dai La Mountain. At first, this guy was still tough, saying that even if he was beaten to death, he wouldn't confess. However, the poisonous toad sword demon only slapped once, and Chu Yi-shan was already crying while explaining the situation, including the fact that the three of them came from the Divine Moon Academy of the Lam Royal City. "It is said that Mount Dai La has the precious long blood chi, so I want to try my luck." As a result, he was slapped again and his whole body crashed into a nearby tree. The situation was no better than old Thao's. The poisonous toad sword demon waved his sleeve. After all, they were not enemies. He decided to spare these people's lives, but Tuit Makneem was different. Because the 9-yin body is one of the 10 great sacred bodies, very compatible with the 9-yang body of that young man, he decided to bring her back to be his grandson's wife. The grandson of the poisonous toad sword demon is actually not his biological grandson. He is So Tin Than, a young man from the 21st century who has been lying around for 18 years. Later, he accidentally time-traveled, initially thinking he would become a young master or something like that after the time travel. But no fate had So Tin Than fall into Mount Dai La, which is covered in ice and snow all year round, and he became the grandson of 6 crazy old men at the Wujia Inn. Their nicknames are respectively Human Ghost Iron Statue Sword Demon, Poisonous Bodhisattva, Heavenly Mechanism, and Hong Mi Nyang. They have been sealed in this inn for nearly 100 years. So Tin Than was picked up and raised by them with the hope that he would become the key to breaking the seal. As long as he can awaken the martial soul, he can go down the mountain to find a way to rescue them. But life is not that easy because So Tin Than is just a mortal without any spiritual roots from beginning to end. In his previous life, he was a programmer chased by deadlines like a dog, so this kind of time travel was truly fulfilling for him. On the mountain, with a spacious garden today, he plants potatoes tomorrow, sweet potatoes, and can enjoy life. He has even thought about how to enjoy retirement. But unlike many male protagonists in other fantasy stories, the system has come to him. It introduced itself as the strongest martial soul system meeting him by fate, and from now on it would help So Tin Than reach the pinnacle. But in return, it only received a face of disgust from him. "Spare me. With 2 lifetimes combined, I'm already middle-aged, and now you give me this stupid system. I would rather have a system for farming or retirement." The martial soul system, being directly criticized by its host upon their first meeting, felt very offended. But the system couldn't just be changed at will, so it forcibly made So Tin Than become its host. Even though he strongly opposed and didn't want anything to disturb his retirement life in the end, he was still taken over by that stupid system. A scream split the sky, and a golden light shot straight up to the clouds from the inn, attracting the attention of the old men who were playing cards at that time. And So Tin Than, after waking up, found himself in an undefined space surrounded by many floating dots of light. "Hello, host," the martial soul system spoke. "You have completed the awakening. This is the 9th level of comprehension of martial soul. But because your level is too low, you can currently only cultivate the martial soul of the 1st level. Martial souls are divided into beast, martial souls, plant. Martial souls, elemental martial souls, spiritual martial souls, and special martial souls. Please choose host." So Tin Than's expression was filled with disgust. He stubbornly stated that he didn't want to choose. Unexpectedly, that foolish system was even more stubborn, automatically selecting the most suitable martial soul for its host. Immediately after, the process of merging the martial soul took place rapidly. So Tin Than, despite his strong opposition, could not resist his fate. Before passing out, he seemed to see a pair of eyes along with a vague, mystical voice. "I am the eye that sees all." When his spirit awakened again, he found himself lying in bed at the inn. In front of him was a gathering of elderly people with expressions of great worry. "Little Shen, you're awake. You scared us. As soon as we entered the room, we saw you unconscious on the floor. Just the awakening of a martial soul could cause such a strong shock. No wonder you are my grandson, the poisonous sword demon. Nodding quickly, show Grandpa your martial soul. It must be a very high rank, right?" Then he placed his hand on So Tin Than's forehead and began to sense. But the result revealed that his martial soul was only at the spirit level, the lowest of the 9 levels of martial souls, respectively. Spirit level, mysterious level, earth level, heaven level, king level, and emperor level. The gathering of elderly people was extremely sad and obviously disappointed when the awakening caused such a big shock. Yet the martial soul was only at the low spirit level with low potential, only able to cultivate up to martial master realm for 18 years. Finally awakened, the result was just a spirit level. My grandson. They began to cover their faces and cry. Sobsob Sotingthan didn't know what to say in this situation. Suddenly he heard the crisp announcement sound that foolish system appeared again. Congratulations, host, you have successfully merged the martial soul and received the luck-enhancing item of the newbie. This item can allow you to surpass 3 levels of attack against a target, causing the target to faint in an instant, but without causing actual harm. The cooldown time will be reduced according to each level you advance. In addition, the system also brought another good news, that is, Sotingthan's golden copper martial soul, although it is only at the spirit level, can be upgraded without limits through various materials. The first material Sotingthan needs to collect is the Black River Dragon and the blood essence of the beast. Get lost. Why should I listen to you? Sotingthan lazily lay down, pulled up the blanket. He just wanted to rest, but this system unexpectedly had the inhumane form of electric shock. After being shocked, Sotingthan was forced to sit up, groaning, "Little sword demon, take me to Mount Daila." Thus the scene of him fighting the Black River Dragon was born as at the beginning of the story. It's just that the current situation is giving Sotingthan a headache. You just follow the system's instructions to fight a monster. How did it turn into getting a wife? Those old men didn't even ask if you wanted to get married, just locked Sotingthan and Tuyet Makneem in the honeymoon suite. How could someone this beautiful be refused? The system questioned, "She's too big. Anyone who wants her can take her. I won't love someone with big breasts." Don't underestimate flat-chested people. Sotingthan shouted, "So what are you planning to do now? A gentleman does not take advantage of someone in distress." Sotingthan sighed, but then continued, "First, take off her clothes." At this moment, Tuyet Makneem, due to the poison, was feeling very cold. In that cold moment, she felt someone groping her chest. As soon as she opened her eyes, she saw Sotingthan nervously taking off her outer clothes. Instinctively, Tuyet Makneem immediately kicked straight at his lower body. If Sotingthan had not reacted quickly, he would have definitely been rendered incapable. "Perverted scoundrel, let me go." Tuyet Makneem gritted her teeth and said, "Don't move if you want to live, be honest." Sotingthan continued to force her onto the bed. Tuyet Makneem, being a girl and also poisoned, couldn't resist him at all. Out of anger, she spat out another mouthful of blood and her condition worsened. Sotingthan didn't dare delay any longer. He tore open her shirt, then bit his finger to draw blood and painted a talisman on Tuyet Makneem's bare chest. Fortunately, his physique is the 9-yang body, and this blood talisman could temporarily suppress the cold poison in Tuyet Makneem. When the pain subsided, Tuyet Makneem opened her eyes once more, and the two faced each other in a very awkward situation. Tuyet Makneem immediately covered her chest with her hands, but before she could protest, Sotingthan exclaimed, "You bad person." Saying this, he also posed to cover his chest with both hands like Tuyet Makneem, looking very wronged, even with tears welling up in his eyes. Before Tuyet Makneem could figure out what was happening, Sotingthan's tears were streaming down like rain. "Do you think I want to take off your clothes? Isn't it to save your ungrateful self? I am a refined young master. Clearly you looked down on me. Look at my hand, it hurts a lot. I saved you and you kicked me. Hurry up and apologize to me." Sotingthan launched into a rapid-fire rant, then shoved his bleeding finger, still dripping from drawing the talisman, in front of Tuyet Makneem's face. Her mind was temporarily confused by him, and she stammered, "I'm sorry." Then Sotingthan made her thank him for saving her life. Tuyet Makneem also muttered a thank you. Hoo-hoo, feeling so wronged. Sotingthan turned away, his shoulders shaking uncontrollably. "You don't cry." This time, Tuyet Makneem was confused and didn't know what to do, but little did she know that at that moment Sotingthan was secretly laughing. Isn't it always said that the one who strikes first is the strong one? What kind of tricks and scams are those that once you see the body, you have to take responsibility? That can't happen to you. Sotingthan refused to let himself be tied down to a character with a big chest. "Forget it. I'm beautiful inside and out. I won't bother with you anymore. Later I'll take you down the small path to leave here." After pretending to cry for a while, So Tin then pretended to be righteous and said, but before Tuyet Makneem could respond, the excited voice of Hong Mi Nung echoed from outside. What's wrong? Has Tiotan finished? Come on, whether we can hold our grandson or not depends on you. So Tinthan didn't know where to hide his face to feel less embarrassed. Seeing the vigilant look in Tuyet Makneem's eyes, he felt that he should let her go soon. However, just as So Tinthan opened the window intending to sneak her away, he suddenly sensed a huge shock of soul force as if the whole mountain was experiencing an earthquake. It turned out that a master had come to visit the Wuxi Inn. Tuyet Chan Suin of the Jia Lam family has come to visit my granddaughter Tuyet Makneem and has troubled you all. I apologize on her behalf and hope you will let her go, otherwise I won't hesitate to flatten the Wuxi Inn. I thought it was someone else, but it turned out to be Tuyet Makneem's parents coming to demand her. Jia Lam Tweet, the family that Tweet Chan Suin just mentioned, is one of the 4 major families of Jia Lam Imperial City. This family has been passed down for 100 years with abundant wealth and numerous powerhouses. The head of the family, Tuyet Chan Suin, is a peak martial emperor in the entire Jia Lam Imperial City, and those who can match him can be counted on one hand. Tweet Makneem peeked her head out of the window. She saw that besides her grandfather, there were also 2 grandfathers and a 3rd grandfather in general. Her family's martial king-level powerhouses had gathered in half. Seeing this, Tuyet Makneem turned back to advise So Tinthan, considering that you just saved me, it can be seen that your nature is not bad. You should run quickly, otherwise, when my grandfather chases over here, he probably won't spare you. Chase over here, sir. A mocking smile appeared on So Tinthan's face. I fear that your grandfather doesn't have that kind of capability. The elderly group at the Wuxi Inn who were waiting for the grandson's fun were extremely angry when outsiders interrupted. They didn't even bother to pay attention to Tuyet Chan Suin and casually sent someone who just lost a card game to confront the Tuyet family. Even after making such a big show and not receiving a response for a while, the group of people shouted and rushed forward together. Suddenly something appeared and knocked Tuyet Chan Suin back. After that, the remaining people couldn't escape either. It turned out that earlier Thien Ko lost the card game, so he had to take on the responsibility of driving these annoying people away. However, in his eyes, the only opponent is Vo Huang, who is fundamentally unworthy of him exerting even 1/3 of his strength. Tweet Chan Suin was beaten into a daze, his whole body trembling uncontrollably. He looked at Thien Ko, who was hovering above, murmuring continuously, "How can this be? This power? Who exactly is this person? Who am I? Why should I speak to someone like you who's about to sell salt?" Thien Ko revealed a wicked smile, but just as he was about to strike, a dark figure rushed in front of Tuyet Chan Suin. "Please, senior, show mercy." The family members rubbed their eyes in surprise. "Oh, isn't that the daughter-in-law they just brought back for So Tin Than? How did she manage to jump down there?" Suddenly at this moment, the Wu Nai Inn was enveloped by a mysterious smoke. When the smoke cleared, Thien Ko was tightly bound by a yellow chain, and the one at the head was none other than his granddaughter. "Grandfather Thien Ko." "I'm sorry," he painfully said before shouting to Tuyet Makneem, "Quickly, take your family away." After Tuyet Makneem and her family escaped, So Tinthan automatically returned to the inn, kneeling before his parent group. In everyone's eyes, there was a fierce killing intent. They didn't even have to lift a finger to take his life. So Tinthan found himself in this situation. To say he wasn't tense would be a lie. Originally, he just wanted to watch the drama unfold, but suddenly Tuyet Makneem, with tears in her eyes, pleaded for him to save her grandfather. At first, So Tinthan didn't even want to agree, but that foolish system turned her plea into a harem mission. As a necessary task, the system vowed to wholeheartedly assist you. Please try to gain the favor of the female character for the sake of living a life surrounded by beauties. So Tinthan really wanted to curse. Why should he have to save Tuyet Makneem's grandfather? But who would have thought that the punishment for refusing this mission would be being electrocuted continuously for a day? Thus, although very unwilling, So Tinthan still had to regard Tuyet Makneem's grandfather as his own. Only then did the scene unfold as it just did. "Come on, kid. Why do you want to let those old men go when helping outsiders?" Hong Mi Nung gritted her teeth while questioning So Tinthan. Her appearance almost made him cry. "All right, Hong Mi Nung, stop scaring the boy." Duck Botat spoke up and to defend, then turned back to So Tinthan and scolded him. "Tiotan, this time you have indeed gone too far. Other matters aside, but they have seen your face. If you go down the mountain later and they seek revenge, what then? Once you're down the mountain, you won't have us to protect you. You only have a spirit-level martial soul. But because he reminded him suddenly, he thought of a way to satisfy the parents' association. Can't your martial soul level up now that enough materials have been gathered? So Tin then immediately asked the system to help him level up. Thus, while Doc Botat was still complaining, So Tin Thun's martial soul evolved into the mysterious level, and he had become a 3-star martial artist. The Sword Demon was the first to sense this change, after which the serious expressions on their faces all disappeared. Ha ha ha, it's evolved, it really has! They grabbed So Tin Than and shook him back and forth until he felt dizzy. They are right to be happy, because after living so many years, this is the first time they have seen a martial soul evolve on its own. If the martial soul can evolve, then it means So Tin Than's future will be bright. So they temporarily forgot the mistakes he made today, only feeling that So Tin Than was truly sent from heaven to save them. However, just when So Tin Than thought everything was going smoothly, he bumped into the cold smile of Hong Mi Nung. All right, now answer me, why did you want to let those people go? Indeed, no one remembers like women do. With her reminder, even the remaining old men recalled this matter. So Tin Than couldn't give them a reasonable explanation, so he couldn't escape the fate of being punished by kneeling in the woodshed for being unfilial. Just when he was feeling sad and his feet were hurting, that stupid system appeared again. Host, please don't be sad. After going through these things, you will definitely gain the favor of Tuyet Makneem. I don't need her favor. The system is just talking nonsense, So Tin Than shouted. But in Jialam, the Tuyet family has a lot of power. After the host descends the mountain, you definitely won't escape from them. The system began to complain again. It shouldn't be that bad. The old men wouldn't let those people go that easily. They must have left me a way out. Honestly, So Tin Than guessed right when Tuyet Chan Xuan and his 2 younger brothers returned home, only to find that all 3 of them had been afflicted by the heart-devouring curse. This curse is usually not obvious, but in some cases it can trigger in an instant. Originally an ancient poison curse that had been lost, the conditions for triggering and the method of breaking the curse were all determined by the one who cast the spell. This time they were lucky to escape, but they were also controlled by them, which was truly embarrassing without being embarrassing. Tuyet Chan Xuan said, because the person who attacked us must have reached the martial emperor level. Upon hearing him say that, the faces of the others changed immediately. It must be said that martial artists in this world are divided into 9 levels. The lowest is martial artist, gradually progressing to martial master, great, martial master, martial sect, martial king, martial emperor, martial saint martial, god, and the highest is martial deity. Just one step away from the highest level, how terrifying must that power be? The martial emperor level, in other words, is a potential martial deity. In the great divine continent Ter-6, it has been nearly 100 years since a martial emperor has appeared. In the Battle of Chu-Tan years ago, many talents were lost. So when hearing about the sudden appearance of a martial emperor on Mount Dai La, the Tuyet family felt quite bewildered. The martial soul of that old man feels very familiar to me. It seems that there was indeed someone 100 years ago. That is from the Tianji Pavilion, the second elder of the Tuyet family muttered. But before he could finish his sentence, Tuyet Zhenxuan interrupted, "Be careful with your words. The name of that demon cannot be casually mentioned. Moreover, he has been dead for a long time." In short, he felt that the backgrounds of the people at the Wunghai Inn today were not ordinary. Perhaps the conditions to trigger the devouring heart curse are also related to this matter. Therefore, Tuyet Zhenxuan requested that everyone present must keep what happened a secret and not mention it to outsiders. He would discuss it with the emperor when he returned and decide later. After saying that, Tuyet Zhenxuan turned to ask his granddaughter a few questions. Tuyet Makneem, did you say that there is a young man on Mount Dai La who has just awakened his martial soul? That's right. Tuyet Makneem nodded. The old man felt that perhaps this young man was the key point, so he sent someone to monitor the area around Mount Dai La. As long as there is any movement, they should report back to him immediately. A few days later, after suffering from sore legs from being punished to kneel in the woodshed, So Tin Than was taken to the waterfall for training. After learning that his martial soul could be upgraded, the Old Men's Association began to passionately work on a training plan for him. Due to being sealed for many years, their strength had also diminished, and the matter of breaking the seal was extremely urgent, so he was also pressured. Since being transported to this world until now, So Tin Than had never tried so hard, so his level quickly increased just a little bit more to become a martial artist. After sitting long enough under that icy waterfall, he finally returned to the inn. As soon as he opened the door, he saw all 6 elders gathered together, each with a serious expression. "Little Shen, we have discussed a bit. Today you should go down the mountain." So Tin Than was confused. Clearly, it was said before that he would only go down the mountain when he reached the martial artist level, but unexpectedly, the Parents' Association wanted to send him off so quickly. It was also because they had taught him everything that needed to be taught. Even if he stayed up here for a few more days, it would be of no use. All 6 of them felt that it would be better for So Tin than to go down the mountain and gain experience early, so they decisively pushed him out the door. So Tin Than was very distressed. There were quite a few high-level monsters on Mount Dai La, and it was extremely dangerous for him to go out alone. Due to the impact of the seal, the further the elders were from the inn, the weaker their strength became, and there was no way to protect him safely down the mountain. Therefore, they could only rely on the teleportation formation to send him directly to the Jia Lam Imperial City. Before leaving, they had instructed So Tin Than very carefully that this time down the mountain he must find 6 wind-breaking divine stones. According to Dokbo Tat, one has already been obtained by the Jia Lam royal family, which is also the reason why the 6 people brought him directly to Jia Lam Imperial City. The whereabouts of the 5 remaining stones have been hidden in a ring, which also contains gifts that they gave to So Tin Than. Outside of Daila Mountain, dangers are everywhere. You must be careful. Moreover, Dokbo Tat is good everywhere, but the only drawback is that he talks too much. Once you start, it's hard to stop. Seeing him rambling on Kim Kui had to shut him up. The teleportation formation cannot be maintained for long. Stop talking so much, Tu Tan. The task of breaking the seal is all on you. You won't let your grandfather down, will you? Of course, So Tin Than replied with a confident tone. The elders are waiting for you to return. After So Tin Than disappeared from the teleportation formation, Thien Ko could no longer hold it in and coughed up a large mouthful of blood. Just now he had used up too much power, which led to this situation. Originally, only those at the Martial Emperor level could suppress the power of the seal to open the teleportation formation. Fortunately, So Tin Than awakened his martial soul in time. He could still take you out. His strength had already been weakening, and this time forcibly opening the teleportation formation caused Thien Ko to drop to the Martial Saint level. The group was worried about Thien Ko until he suddenly threw his head back and laughed loudly. But thinking about the fact that I am the last to lose the Martial Emperor level, I am no longer sad. You are all weaklings, ha ha ha, still craving a fight at such an old age. Yun Kui had to do his best to stop Hong Mi Nung, or else a chaotic battle would definitely have broken out. The inn suddenly became noisy because of this. Only Dokbo Tat and Kim Kui silently looked out the window. They were all worried about So Tin Than. Will Tu Tan return safely? He is a good child. I hope he can break the seal to save us, and I also hope he can stay away from danger a little. We won't tell him about the past. We just hope he won't get caught up in it. Don't worry, Tu Tan is smart. Nothing will happen to him. It's the new year. He might be enjoying the splendid fireworks in Jia Lam Imperial City right now, Kim Kui reassured his old friend. But none of them expected that Thien Ko's teleportation formation would send So Tin Than straight into a brothel. In his past life, he was a diligent programmer. After crossing over the 18 years of life had worn down all desires of So Tin Than. Although many things had happened, he remained very calm, not moved in the slightest. Yet now, when surrounded by beautiful women in the brothel like a pack of fairies, So Tin Than felt his whole body stiffen, his mind going blank. Until you hear the familiar notification sound, and that system pops up again. Host charge ahead. Collect all these female characters to make a harem. This crazy system, do you want me to be banned for 18+ content? I'm not that kind of scummy man. It seems that every time he interacts with this stupid system, So Tin Than has to shout loudly out of anger. After saying that, he immediately ran away and the girls in the brothel chased after him. Luckily, So Tin Than quickly hid in a room, temporarily escaping. System didn't? Grandfather Thien Ko want to take me to Jia Lam Huang Tang. What kind of place is this? So Tin Than questioned. Well, according to the location, this is indeed some kind of brothel in Jia Lam Huang Tun. Bringing his grandson to a place like this, that old man is really wicked. So, Tin Than muttered. If it weren't for the big karma, he would definitely go back to settle scores with him out of anger. But just then, a very familiar voice rang out from the adjacent room. So Tin Than immediately activated his golden bronze soul, looking through the wall, and then spotted someone familiar. Oh, this is the old man that Tuet Macneem calls Tao Lao. Thao Lao, I have been following the traces of Diem Ho for a long time and can be sure that that beast is hiding in this tavern. It's just that it disguises itself, making it hard to spot among the crowd, so I invited you to help, the person opposite Thao Lao said respectfully. Diem Ho is skilled at transformation and has a cunning personality. It is not easy for you to follow it all the way here. Rest assured, I will definitely help you catch it to atone for its sins. So Tin Than overheard their entire conversation. If he wasn't mistaken, the Diem Ho they mentioned was a demon clan. Living near Than Cho Te Luk for nearly 1,000 years, their beautiful fur is why they call themselves Diem Ho. Humans are as different as fire and water, and fires frequently break out at the borders. 100 years ago, during the battle against the Chuta clan, Diem Ho was surrounded and destroyed by the combined forces of the immortal clans, leading to their extinction long ago. The stupid system thinks that Diem Ho has long been extinct, but So Tin Than revealed a shocking news to it that Hong Mi Nung is actually a Diem Ho. At first, he wasn't very clear until one time he saw her drunk at the New Year's party and revealed her true form. At that time, he was informed by several other elders that Hong Mi Nung was a Diem Ho. In fact, even though they had lived together for 18 years, So Tin Than was still unclear about the background of his elderly household. They rarely talked about the past and were always tight-lipped with him. Putting that aside, So Tin Than saw that a few new people had arrived, and coincidentally, they were familiar faces. The newcomers this time were actually Tuet Macneem and Chu Yi Sun. This world is really too small. So, Tin Than hurriedly looked for a cloth to cover his face. This time, Elder Tao called the other two to help him find Diem Ho. Previously, he had used spiritual power to seal off this tavern. Unless the opponent has a higher level of cultivation, otherwise it is impossible to escape. This matter cannot be delayed, Elder Thao. Let's start searching, Chu Wai Sun urged Elder. Thao agreed with a sound, then drew his sword, his gaze sharp as a knife, looking towards the room across two walls. Then he decisively slashed out, and the door blocking So Tin Than was instantly cut away. Let's start with this little brat who was eavesdropping. Thao Lao's eyes were fierce as he stared at him. So Tin Than cursed. How can this old man be sharper than a dog? Many people were attracted by the loud noise, but So Tin Than didn't expect to get involved in trouble so soon after coming down the mountain. The courtesan in this brothel keeps crying, "Dear guests, please stop hitting." If you keep hitting, the Zuanhung Lo will collapse, but the main characters in this fight were completely uninterested in hearing her. So Tin Than was busy running while Thao Lao chased after him, questioning why he had the guts to eavesdrop but not to confront, seeing him talk so much. So Tin Than requested the system to allow him to use the skill of showcasing power. But unfortunately, this skill had been used when he fought Hak Jiao Long and was currently on cooldown, which was a whopping 10 years. So Tin Than was nearly so angry, he spat blood, giving the system a loving look. The cooldown will shorten as I level up, so you better level up. What good is my bloodline? The system immediately retorted, thinking that this was indeed useless, and it seemed he would have to rely on himself. Immediately, So Tin Than took out the Phi Tien Quit technique that Hong Mi Nung had taught him. His agile movements momentarily stunned Thao Lao. So Tin Than thought he had shaken off his pursuer and intended to run east, where the soul power generated by Thao Lao was relatively weak, allowing him to escape. Who would have thought that just a second later he would catch up to him and scoff at the Phi Tien Quit, saying it was merely a cat's scratching technique. So Tin Than was knocked down by a blow from him, crashing hard to the ground, pain making him feel faint. Just as he pushed himself up to stand, So Tin Than accidentally touched something soft. He turned his head, and the scene at that moment not only surprised So Tin Than, but left everyone present frozen. He had just fallen into Diem Ho, revealing its true form. Diem Ho panicked and began to find a way to escape. So Tin Than thought that now that these people had found their target, they would let him go. But who would have guessed that Thao Lao was cautious enough to chase after it himself and instructed Tuet Macneem to catch him. Aren't you all aiming for that Diem Ho? Why do you still want to chase after me? So Tin Than lamented, especially since it was Tuet Macneem pursuing him. Just when things were heating up, the system issued a new mission. This time it was also a mission to collect items to upgrade the martial spirit, and the required item was Diem Ho Chi Huyet. Why didn't you say it earlier? So, Ting Shen shouted. Just now you were holding Diem Ho in your hands, asking for a bit of blood. What's so difficult about that? Why are you releasing the mission after letting it run away? The mission is released randomly, I can't control it. The system responded irresponsibly. So Tingshen felt that sooner or later this foolish system would cause him to lose his life. Well, for now, let's just kick Shui Mo Nian out and figure it out later. He took out 4 smoke bombs from his shirt, temporarily using them to obscure Shui Mo Nian's vision, then sneaked into the room right next door. So Tingshen knew that if he fought for DM Ho with these people, he wouldn't win, plus he had to protect his identity. Fortunately, before leaving, Hongmi Nyang had given him the shape-shifting pill. Once consumed, it allows him to change his appearance and aura enough for him to blend in with the crowd. So Tingshen swallowed a shape-shifting pill. The pain engulfing his body made it hard for him to breathe. He endured the pain and quickly changed clothes to transform into someone else. But just then, the flimsy door was kicked hard by someone. "Come out. Don't hide anymore. Don't think I don't know where you are." Shui Mo Nian barged in fiercely. At this moment, So Tingshen had just finished transforming into the appearance of a young girl. He was only wearing a thin set of underwear. Facing Shui Mo Nian in this awkward situation, neither of them could say a word. Shui Mo Nian remained silent for a long time while So Tingshen was extremely tense. Fortunately, he had quickly taken off his outer clothes. Otherwise, he would have definitely exposed himself. After a long while, the other party finally spoke. "Miss, did you see a man in a blue outfit run past here? I chased his aura here, but it suddenly disappeared." So Tingshen pretended to think, then replied no. But at that moment he discovered that his voice hadn't changed at all. He hurriedly covered his mouth. Fortunately, Shui Mo Nian thought that a girl like him caught in such a disheveled state must be panicking, so she temporarily didn't see through the clues and planned to leave. But her intention to leave made So Tingshen even more panicked. Originally, he intended to transform into an old man to blend in with their group and find an opportunity to collect DM Ho's blood. But for some reason, he turned into a young girl like this, and the difficulty level seemed to have doubled. So Tingshen didn't have time to think much and grabbed Shui Mo Nian's wrist. He tried to suppress his throat and forced out a voice like a young girl with a hoarse voice, then asked her, "Are you Shui Mo Nian, the senior of Shenyu Academy? Have you met me before?" Shui Mo Nian opened her eyes wide in surprise. So Tingshen saw this and immediately activated his acting skills like a movie star, crying and throwing himself into Shui Mo Nian's arms. "Yes, senior.
See.
Save me. I am also a student of the God Moon Academy, visiting my parents for the new year, and unexpectedly encountered a villain. They threw me into this wolf den, swallowed me, and even poisoned me with my own voice. Luckily I met you. I beg you to take me out," with tears streaming down. So Tinthan cried and hugged Tweet MacNeem tightly, smearing all her tears and snot on her clothes. "But this humiliation tactic of yours actually works." Tweet MacNeem helped So Tinthan up and worriedly asked, "Get up first. If you are a disciple of the God Moon Academy, then of course I cannot just stand by and watch. What is your name?" In a moment of urgency, So Tinthan hastily made up a name called So Teach Ka. The system criticized your naming ability as terrible, but whatever, it's good to be trusted by the other party. So Tinthan, afraid of exposing herself, started crying again. Just then, the two of them heard a loud crashing sound from outside. The monster DM Ho is still running. It doesn't seem like that little brat DM Ho has been caught by Thao Lao yet. He ordered his subordinates to lock it up and then transfer it to the punishment cave. At this time, Tweet MacNeem also took So Tinthan back out. "Thao Lao is indeed impressive. He caught that monster so quickly." Tweet MacNeem praised, "It's nothing to mention. Have you caught that little thief yet?" Tweet MacNeem was a bit disappointed, saying that she was useless and couldn't keep up because the aura of that little thief suddenly disappeared and she still hasn't sensed it again. Thao Lao did not blame her, as he felt from the beginning that the movements of that little thief were strange. Even though he didn't use force earlier, it was already abnormal that the little thief who only had the realm of a martial artist could withstand one strike. They surely would never have imagined in their dreams that the little thief they always talked about was actually the delicate girl standing behind Tweet MacNeem. After talking for a while, Thao Lao finally noticed So Tinthan. Tweet MacNeem, fearing that he was still in a panic, then said, "She is also a disciple of our God Moon Academy, sold here by villains. Luckily, she met me and she wants me to take her out." Thao Lao, surprisingly, did not suspect anything, only feeling angry that there were villains daring to target the disciples of the God Moon Academy. Then he called Tweet MacNeem to take So Tinthan back with them first. They had tied up DM Ho and now would leave this place as well. The group returned to the inn. Since he was in the form of a girl, So Tinthan naturally shared a room with Tweet MacNeem. She gave him a new clean outfit, then said, "Tomorrow morning, Chu Ai-sun will take you back." Choo Choo Senior will take me back. Then what about the senior sister? So, Tin Than began to panic again. I have to escort DM Ho. Don't worry, Chu Ai-sun will protect you very well. Who needs that jerk to protect me? So Tin Than couldn't help it once again hugging Tweet MacNeem, constantly saying that he was very afraid of men now and didn't want to be away from her. Moreover, if you go back to Than Nguyen Academy now, your identity will be exposed. By all means, we must go escort DM Ho along with them. At first, Tweet MacNeem felt a bit awkward, but because So Tin Than kept crying and pleading, she ultimately had to give in. All right then, I'll take you back tomorrow. Thank you, Senior. So Tin Than's eyes immediately lit up, but after saying it, he realized there was a problem. Thanks for nothing. You want to go escort DM Ho and them? How can it turn into Tweet MacNeem taking you back to the academy instead of Chu Yi-sun? It's no different that way. So Tin Than cried silently. Tweet MacNeem didn't notice his strange expression at all. All right, it's getting late, let's rest. After saying that, she began to take off her clothes. So Tin Than was so scared that he jumped, seeing this strange expression. Tweet MacNeem didn't suspect anything at all. What's wrong? Things happened unexpectedly, we didn't prepare. You can stay with me temporarily, we're both girls, it's fine. I've taken a shower before. So Tin Than's face turned red, and he didn't even dare to open his eyes fully. You just temporarily have a female appearance, but in the end you became Tweet MacNeem's sister. Why will you sleep in the same bed with her at night? Tin Than tried to stabilize his mood. Okay? He calmed down. It's not a big deal. Why be so agitated? No matter how big your chest is, it shouldn't disturb your peace of mind. Unexpectedly, MacNeem suddenly spoke. I can't sleep. He jumped in surprise, turning to look at the senior who scared him to death. She laid her arm back teasingly. Why are you so tense? I won't eat you. Tin Than immediately defended. I was just thinking about a few things. That DM Ho looks like a little girl. She doesn't seem like someone who has done bad things. MacNeem frowned and probed. Do you feel sorry for her? Sorry for... Definitely don't sympathize with them. DM Ho often pretends to be weak, taking advantage of people's kindness and then biting back. Many people have died because of her. They have repeatedly instigated conflict between the immortal sect and the demonic sect without any compassion. Don't be fooled by her appearance. Don't be soft-hearted. Got it. After talking for a while, I felt sleepy, all right. Don't think too much anymore. We need to set off early tomorrow. Go to sleep quickly. In fact, her falling asleep was due to the scent in her hand. Tin Than sighed in relief, opened his hand. The Mahontan had been prepared long ago. With her level, it was enough for a good night's sleep. Tin Than gently tucked her hair back. The person beside her was sleeping soundly. The senior sister blinked and immediately flew out of the room. He went to carry out the mission while you hid on the roof, secretly watching Wee Sun. Tin Than rubbed his hands, took out the soul-confusing powder. He inhaled the fragrance of the medicine and became drowsy, immediately rolling over to sleep soundly. You are a bit speechless. What good does it do to have him watch the door? Tin Than secretly opened the door of the room and immediately saw Kyu Hee being held captive inside. The love demon array. No wonder the defenses outside are so thin. You gently approached her. This array would make the demon beasts immediately suffer from excruciating pain, truly tragic. Tin Than took out a jade bottle to collect blood. Sorry, little sister, borrowing a bit of your blood. Kyu Hee seemed to sense someone approaching and weakly opened her eyes. Her hand suddenly grasped you tightly. Tin Than was startled hearing the person groan, Save me. Kyu Hee raised her head, pleading, Sister, save me. You looked at her in panic as she clung to you tightly. Kyu Hee whispered in pain, Save me. I can't go into the Penitence Valley, sister. Save me out. I will do whatever you want. Tin Than hurriedly covered her mouth and whispered, Stop. Immediately, Hang Kung jumped out, receiving the request from the female character. Please, host, complete the mission to save DM Ho and bring her into the harem. You angrily retorted, Again, it doesn't mind contradicting. What if I don't open the harem? It's Long Gao Thien who gets it. Moreover, she has a small chest very much in line with your aesthetic. Tin Than was almost manipulated, but had to say, Oh no, saving her is very troublesome. So Hong Kong lost patience and punished, then get electrocuted comfortably. Kyu Hee looked at you in confusion, acting strangely. Sister, Tin Than had no choice but to say, All right, I will save you. Helping others is a pleasure for me. Although inside, he was still cursing the system. Sooner or later, adjustments must be made as people become mere guides for farming. Kyu Hee began to feel that the guy in front of her had problems. She was originally safe, but blending into the crowd was exposed by this stinky man. She recalled the scene of being exposed by Tin Than while hiding whispering curses at the stinky man. But then Kyu-hee began to calculate without knowing the true identity of the other party. Earlier, when she was in a desperate situation, a person with strange behavior appeared before her, who did not seem to be a very smart woman. Earlier, when I was at my wit's end, a person with strange behavior appeared before me looking like she wasn't a very smart woman. Perhaps she is not an accomplice of God Moon Academy and I could use her to escape. At that moment, Kyu-hee saw the scene of the system jolting. You should have thought, but is she not normal? So while I was lost in thought, I was suddenly seized by the spirit. Someone will save her at that moment. Little she felt more scared than happy. It's over, I might not live much longer. You twist the ring in your hand, planning to save her. I must open the love-restraining formation. That old man will definitely notice wanting to lead this girl to escape under the eyes of the Martial King is already too difficult. Then the spirit looked at the ring on their hand and sighed. There's nothing to rely on but this. From the ring emerged a massive set of armor. You looked up at that armor speaking with a sad expression. The battle armor was created from celestial origin brought by the human demon grandfather. The soul power within can fight at a higher level. But the soul power is consumed extremely quickly. With my current level, it is still very reluctant to control it. I must use a top-grade soul crystal to enhance it. The spirit gritted their teeth and took out a soul crystal with an extremely reluctant expression. This is a top-grade soul crystal a mineral vein can at most produce 5 pieces. I can't bear to do it. Jushi saw you hesitating to act, reminding you to hurry up. Hearing this, the spirit had to put that precious soul crystal into the battle armor. You began to chant the incantation. With this, you could nearly reach the level of the Martial King. The battle armor could destroy the love-restraining formation. A hand quickly approached Jushi with its terrifying strength. The restraining formation couldn't withstand it. The chains wrapped around her body loosened and then gradually disappeared. The two quickly climbed onto the battle armor, the spirit reminded now to flee. Suddenly, from afar, the sound of someone's footsteps echoed. That person is Thao Lao. He loudly asked, "Who are you?" Thao Lao stared at you, probing why you broke my restraining formation. The spirit irritably thought quickly. You swiftly entered a combat state, instructing Jiu Shi to hold on to the battle armor tightly. "I'll take her out first." As soon as the words left your mouth, the armor with Jiu Shi's sword outside. Not far into the escape, it was blocked by his attack. Thao Lao shouted, "Where do you think you're running?" saying that he continued to unleash even more intense attacks. The spirit observed below, feeling extremely anxious. You had no choice but to reveal the trump card battle armor. Immediately, a surge of massive power appeared, halting Thao Lao. However, he wasn't one to make it easy. The new attacks rained down on the battle armor. Suddenly, Thao Lao smiled cunningly. This time, he aimed not at the armor, but directly attacked Jiu Shi. The spirit also realized the opponent's scheme. Damn old man. He continued to slash at the little fox, not delaying. Run first. You don't want to confront Thao Lao directly anymore and quickly control the armor to escape. It seems he was also prepared in advance, launching a chain strike to block the armor. Thao Lao raised his hand and declared, "If you're here, don't rush to leave." Then he summoned a large sword, preparing to stab down at Kyu-hee. The spirit, filled with fear, thought skill. Thao Lao continued to swing his hand as the sword gradually stabbed down towards the armor. At the same time, you also realized it was the Supreme King skill. This attack created a powerful impact, exploding all the earth and rocks around. The sword pierced through Kyu-hee, leaving her whole body drenched in blood. The spirit anxiously shouted, "Little fox!" Without hesitation, you quickly ran over immediately. At the same time, a few more people rushed out to ask Thao Lao what was happening, wondering if someone was coming to rob the flame fox. He moved closer to the spirit and slowly replied, "Don't panic. I set up a formation here a long time ago. You all came at the wrong time." Thao Lao glanced at Kyu-hee, who was on the verge of death, unexpectedly finding that the Flame Fox clan had fallen so low, yet still had people willing to help. He didn't care much anymore, but unfortunately he couldn't take her to the Sinful Valley now. Earlier he had been too forceful. It was likely that this Flame Fox wouldn't survive the night. And this strange thing, which I initially thought was a guardian spirit, I now realize is a war puppet. The students from the God Moon Academy shouted loudly, "War puppet! Could it be the war puppet master from the Mist Flower Pavilion?" A Thao Lao stepped closer to Xiao Hai, observing the exquisitely strange war puppet, which did not resemble the craftsmanship of the Mist Flower Pavilion, but rather looked like the work of a genius war puppet master from 100 years ago. Then he turned to instruct, "This matter cannot be overlooked. Temporarily take this back." While Thao Lao was distracted, a gigantic hand attacked him, punching through many layers of walls, sending Thao Lao flying into a nearby area. The students were still in shock, gaping at the armor. The senior brother standing next to them trembled as he stepped forward to assess the situation, not expecting that the armor could still move. The senior brother looked at the armor flying away and fearfully shouted, "How can it still move?" The spirit saw them like that and had to divert attention. It was going to attack Thao Lao again. "Seniors, hurry and help Thao Lao." They found it reasonable and turned back to say, "Then you stay here, we'll go and come back." You quickly replied, "Okay." Just after they left, the spirit collapsed to the ground. Hang Kwong anxiously asked, "Host, are you okay?" And you held your head and replied, "Just leveled up and controlled the battle puppet, feeling a bit dizzy." It could only sigh, having already bled from the 7 orifices. You have already consumed a large amount of soul power and forced to level up. Your body won't be able to handle it. It's still worth entering the martial artist realm. The power of the war puppet has also increased significantly enough to hold them off for a while. You didn't forget your mission. First, save the little fox. It seems that Ku He was muttering something discontentedly, and the spirit couldn't hear clearly, so he asked, "What did you say?" "I can't hear clearly." He anxiously asked Hang, "What should we do about Kung?" "I don't have any medicine to treat the monster she's about to stop breathing." He suggested, "You should form a blood bond with her. If the monster has a blood bond, its life force will be incredibly strong. This type of injury can heal itself." The spirit had no choice but to use his blood to try. He couldn't let her die here. He quickly drew blood from his tongue and smeared it on the opponent's neck. The spirit said gloomily, "I still want to ask her about Aunt Hong and DM Ho." The blood smeared on Ku Hai's neck gradually faded, turning into a seal. Next, the spirit cast a spell using his blood to merge with her body. The blue light of the bond gradually enveloped Ku He's body. The excessive blood usage left the spirit exhausted, causing him to collapse to the ground, breathing heavily. He thought tiredly, "The blood bond consumes too much. I have no strength left to carry her away." He could only think of a way, and Chien Koi turned back. He silently thought, "With the last bit of soul power, I will lead her out safely." The spirit watched the battle armor move away before daring to lie down on the ground, breathing a sigh of relief. Now it's safe. Just then, someone approached. He sensed it and looked up. The spirit saw MacNeem and let out a sound of relief. At the same time, Chien Koi and everyone at Thon Huit were in chaos, causing a huge uproar. In an inn, the spirit was lying on the bed when he suddenly opened his eyes. Startled, he sat up immediately. The spirit looked down at the blanket on him, thinking, "This is the inn's bed." A voice came from afar, asking, "Are you awake?" He saw MacNeem and exclaimed in surprise, "Senior." She gently explained, "Get up and eat. I saw you unconscious outside yesterday, so I brought you back. DM Ho has finally been taken away." The commotion was quite significant. MacNeem recounted the situation from last night. Thao Lao had crippled one of Bin Koi's arms, and Bin Koi had also injured Tao Lao. Right now they are still discussing this matter. "We must return to Thon Nguyen to report to the higher-ups." Her expression gradually became sad. "It's time to hurry back. In a few days it will be the annual recruitment conference. I have to go help." The spirit secretly paid attention to the recruitment conference. He rummaged through information about the conference in his mind, equivalent to a university entrance exam. At that time, all the universities would gather in one place and the candidates would showcase their talents. Then Nguyen Academy has a close relationship with the Jia Lam royal family. Trying to approach the royal family by sneaking into Than Nguyet through the conference is a clever plan. The spirit looked at MacNeem, secretly thinking this was also his initial plan. It's just that he began to doubt that last night before passing out, he had clearly seen her. Perhaps she also knows that he has DM Ho now. But what is she thinking right now? Could it be that not revealing herself is because she can't see, or is she just acting with me? While lost in thought, MacNeem called back, "Here, come eat!" Tinthun quickly replied, "Okay." He didn't intend to guess anymore. Forget it, it's just an act. Anyway, he'll escape later. While eating, Tinthun sensed the other person's gaze. She was looking at him. He was bringing a spoonful of rice to his mouth when he paused for a second. Tingtun painfully hugged his body. The pain was too much. She had poisoned him. No, that's not right. He realized the real cause was that the medicine was wearing off. He was about to revert to his original form. Makneem saw Tingtun was not well and asked, "What's wrong?" He could only lie, "Senior." "I suddenly have a fever." She asked back in surprise. "A fever?" Tingtun confirmed, "Yes, I've been like this since I was little. I suddenly get a fever of 100 degrees, it will burn. You should go outside quickly. I just need to sleep it off. You must not come back." At this moment, Makneem still didn't realize what was happening. She exclaimed. He slammed the door shut, leaned against the wall, and gasped for breath. Tingtun was getting more and more worried. His body was too hot. After thinking, he rushed to the window. He had to get out of here quickly. Makneem outside was just as worried. So are you really okay?" She heard strange noises and couldn't help but go inside. Makneem opened the door and said, "I'm coming in." Just then, Tingtun had returned to his old form, and she couldn't believe it, so she slammed the door shut. Then, rubbing her eyes, Makneem opened the door again, only to see a naked man climbing through the window. She slammed the door shut once more. This time, Makneem didn't rub her eyes anymore, but lowered her face. He embarrassedly ran on the roof, muttering, "Run, run, naked." Tingtun, feeling embarrassed, tied up his hair and cursed, "I told her not to come in." "Never mind, I'll find Tuho first." He quickly threw on a shirt and dashed off. According to the reaction of Huyet K, she was in the forest west of Kuhi. Over here, recalling that time, he was happily jumping around in the vast meadow. His older sister suddenly appeared, calling out for Tiu-hee. She angrily grabbed him and lifted him up. Tiu-hee didn't care and laughed, calling, "Sister." She impatiently scolded, "You ran around again." Then she reminded him, "Humans are coming again. I will go lure them away, you must hide." The older sister urged him to hide well. This dream made Kuhi wake up in shock. It took her a while to calm down. Kuhi carefully recalled where she was. She remembered being hit by that old man, and that older sister used Huyet K to pull her out. Thinking of this, her face was filled with joy. That's right. Although she didn't seem very smart, she was truly a good person, kind-hearted and gentle. In the future, I must repay the benefactor. At this moment, the spirit came to ask her, "Are you awake?" You happily said, "Just after capturing Chien Koi, you woke up and recovered quickly." The spirit asked with concern, "How do you feel now?" Before you could react, Kuhi quickly struck the spirit in the face, taking the hit head-on. You flew a distance away. The spirit incredulously asked, "What are you doing?" Kuhi was equally fierce, repeating, "I remember you now." She shouted directly at you. "The scoundrel who harmed me has been exposed, making the spirit even angrier." "What do you mean by being exposed? But the one who saved you is me." Kuhai yelled shamelessly, boasting the one who saved me is clearly that beloved, warm-hearted elder sister. You tried to explain she is me. I am a woman, of course. Kuhi doesn't believe it. "Stop being crazy, stay away from me." Reluctantly, you had to pull out those pills. She didn't believe it, and then the spirit opened her mouth to take the pill. Because you swallowed it too quickly, you choked, and had to hit your chest to relieve it. After that, the spirit aggressively pointed at her face, wide-eyed, looking at this. How do I let her know what a great lady is? You continued to provide evidence. If she still doesn't believe it, she can use the blood bond to check again. Just a little bit, I am a man. Kuhai seemed to be extremely shocked by this situation. A man. The image of her beautiful, gentle elder sister was completely shattered by the person in front of her. Kuhai lost her calm, shouting, "This pervert who likes to cross-dress this scammer playing with feelings, give me back my warm elder sister." "Damn, man. Wait!" The spirit caught on to the key point. "Wait a minute. You tried to probe. You don't like girls, do you?" Kuhai didn't answer, but threatened, "What does it matter to you if I like girls?" The answer was clear, making the spirit so angry that he had a nosebleed. You couldn't take it anymore and cursed back. "Do you have any manners? I am your lifesaver and also your master. Not even a thank you, you scold me and hit me ungrateful. Serves you right, you were caught to face punishment." Kuhi gradually teared up from the humiliation she had to endure. The spirit was passionately cursing, now noticing, "I really am a fool for saving you." You looked at her helplessly, speechless. Even Hang Kung blamed you. "Oh, my host, she is a girl, you are being too harsh." Quickly say some soft words to comfort her. Unexpectedly, the spirit also played the crying game and huffed, then pretended to have suffered endless grievances. "What is she crying about, as if I bullied her? I said a few words to you and she cried. She cursed at me and I felt wronged. Hey, I worked hard to save her because she liked girls and was treated like this. Kyu-hee stood there dumbfounded for a few seconds when witnessing this bizarre scene. The acting spirit is so immersed it's very sad. You made Kyu-hee confused, not knowing what to do. You don't cry. I'm sorry. She frantically took the blame for herself. It's my fault. The spirit smiled cunningly as it saw its goal achieved. That's right, it wasn't my fault to begin with. On what basis do you say I should comfort her? Do you want to use tears to force me to bow? Don't even think about it. Kyu-hee became more and more confused. I have been too rude. Can you stop crying? He stopped acting and agreed immediately. Okay. She understood when she saw the spirit like that. This is a trick. This man just reacted to me. He's better at exploiting weakness and tears than I am, truly not simple. He happily asked, so let's get to the main point. What are your plans next? The two looked at each other for a moment, seeing Kyu-hee silent. So the spirit spoke first. You introduce yourself. I'll introduce myself first. My name is So Tin Then. I want to pass the entrance exam to Than Nuit Academy. You also put forward a condition. I hope you can come with me. You can help me through the blood bond. I need your strength during this time. I will hide your identity and keep you safe. Kyu-hee sadly mocked, keep me safe. She replied with concern. I am DM Ho. Leading me by your side, aren't you afraid I'll bite you back? The spirit didn't think so. Will you do that? Any race has both good and evil people. I won't blame DM Ho on you. He crossed his arms and said, we will have plenty of time to understand each other. I will see what kind of person you are, using my eyes to look and my ears to listen. But if you don't want to go, that's fine too. Kyu-hee seemed to have made a strong decision. I will go with you. She nervously twirled her fingers. After all, I have nowhere else to go. It's just that I have one request. The spirit listened very carefully upon hearing this. Who would have thought it was such a strange condition? Can you keep pretending to be a girl? And he, of course, didn't understand. Are you dreaming? The scene shifted to a forest. The spirit sat in a corner of the forest, cursing, this little DM Ho is really climbing on top of others, acting like a crazy girl. Hang-kung didn't forget to add, the host can do it. You look too much like a girl, and the power of pretending to be a girl, you can't handle it. He raised his middle finger. Is the heat enough yet? At first glance, it's clear you're not a decent robot. It rebutted robot. Who told you I'm a machine? Hang-kung concluded. I am human. Who told you I am a machine? Hang-kung concluded with a statement. I am a human. Before becoming a system, I was a human from another world. But my world collapsed for some unknown reason. At that time, my master brain found me and made a deal with me. Li Hong-kung just needed you to become a system to nurture Long Nagao Thien, surpass all Long Nagao Thien, and I will rebuild your world so you can return. What do you think? I agreed with it? Although the memories before becoming a system would be sealed away, even my own name would be forgotten. I remember that there was someone very important waiting for me. To return to her side, I am willing to do anything. Therefore, I desperately learned how to become a system, and even earned the honorary title of an outstanding advanced system. Later, being valued by the main brain in this world, Hang-kung was disappointed. Unfortunately, I met you with a spirit and gaze that seemed to want to devour me. Are you looking down on me? I disregarded the tasks, and you recklessly engaged in fights without being able to help at all, and you still shamelessly criticized me. When I saw that gaze, Hang-kung hurriedly stopped him and explained, my help is really very weak right now, but this is really not my problem. Normally speaking, systems that come to a new world will quickly connect with the heavenly principles which are the rules of the world. The system can enhance your protagonist's aura through the intervention of the heavenly principles, providing various system props. But I have been here for so long, yet I cannot sense the heavenly principles, as if they have disappeared. A world without rules is a mess. But this world operates in a very strange order. You wonder, is there such a thing? Go ask the main brain. Hearing this, it stated, I have reported it already, perhaps a reply will come soon. Don't worry about this, just focus on completing the tasks. These are all small matters. The spirit looked dejected. Yes, you see, Hang-kung pitiful. Telling myself that the world has collapsed, yet being dragged into such matters. His life is not easy either. The spirit empathized and promised him, all right, from now on, I will try to cooperate with you so you can go home a bit sooner. Hang-kung was touched and thanked the host. You stood up and stepped forward. Let's go. I will go tell the little fox to prepare something. Above the tree where the spirit stood, suddenly a figure flew away. In an ancient Chinese-style village, Wai Sun excitedly called when he saw her return, "Macneem, you're back. Where have you been?" "Where is So-So, junior sister?" Macneem replied. "She said she wanted to go home for a bit. I took her out of the city." He was worried. "Did she go by herself? Is it safe?" Macneem assured, "It's no problem. I gave her a protective talisman." Yi Sun felt at ease. "You really are considerate, treating junior sister so well. You are indeed gentle," Macneem said politely, "just returning the favor." A few days later in Jialam Huangtang, someone sighed. "It's really lively. There are many entertainment activities in the city being watched by everyone." The spirit excitedly said, "Look over there, the Nine Joys variety show." Jiuxi replied dejectedly, "Is this your first time in the city? You look so bewildered." "You said while eating hawthorn candy. This is indeed my first time in the city. Why are you hiding it so discreetly?" Jiuxi hesitated to explain. "I'm used to it. Well, revealing myself in places like this feels unsafe. Moreover, the admissions conference will have a lot of monks. I'm scared." The spirit pulled the cloak off and said, "Cover your aura and even change your shape." What is she so afraid of? Jiuxi was startled by this unexpected situation. He immediately put on a serious face. "What are you shouting about? Where did your initial strength go? Even if others recognize you as Yan Hu, you are still a spirit beast." "My blood contract, even if the sky falls, I will bear it." "No one can do anything to you later. Walk with your head held high and chest out, do you understand?" Jiuxi shyly said, "No need for men get lost. I'm in high spirits." He pulled her to the registration area. "Let's go take a look." There was a large sign there with 2 people in charge. He smiled and said, "Hello, we want to register." The spirit was quite surprised by the simple procedure. Just fill out the form and it's done. When the registrar held up the paper, it required the registration of a martial master rank or higher, requiring a spirit rank of mysterious or higher. He excitedly said, "All right, both of us meet the requirements." The guard gestured towards the magic circle. "Then come in here. It is a teleportation mirror. Those who meet the registration requirements will naturally pass into the main hall." The examiner reminded, "After filling out the form, please come in." The spirit was delighted. Put her hand in first to step through the circle, and he marveled that it was already filled with candidates inside. The 2, the spirit and Kuhi, quickly entered. There was a voice around, "Another person has entered." They observed and sighed. "So many people." You looked up curiously. "What is that?" Hang Kong explained. "It's a spatial secret realm equivalent to your exam. You will choose a secret realm to enter. Most of the secret realms are ancient battlefields in dire circumstances with many demons wreaking havoc, testing the overall abilities of the participating contestants." At this moment, someone spoke up. "Contestants, please be quiet." A man stepped out from the magic circle. "Today's registered participants are enough. Prepare well. The examination will begin shortly. I am Lu Ming from the Wujian Academy, the guide for your next steps." He announced the basic exam rules. In the secret realm exam, you cannot bring food or elixirs. The rest is unlimited. Please voluntarily surrender prohibited items. They will be returned after the exam. A candidate quickly stuffed food into his mouth. It was the buns his mother gave him. The spirit breathed a sigh of relief. "Fortunately, I've finished my hawthorn candy." He continued to inform, "The longer you survive in the secret realm, the higher your score. Surviving for 7 days is considered valid. There are no restrictions on any actions of the candidates." Jiuxi whispered, "If there are no restrictions, I'll kill someone." The spirit was startled bold as a lion. Suddenly white clouds appeared. Lu Ming explained, "This is the soul. Please choose. It will later determine the secret realm you must enter." He also informed them about the additional points and the things they would encounter in the secret realm. If you encounter dangerous life forms, the soul can protect you once taking you out of the examination. You reached out to catch one. Behind someone whispered, "I heard the secret realm this year has a very high level of difficulty. Brother Thak is our outstanding talent. If we are assigned to the same secret realm, I hope Brother Thak will help us more." He replied, "I dare not accept." A red-haired man exuded a cold demeanor. Kuhi immediately recognized Thak Triet Voth, a young master of the Thak family, one of the 4 great families of Jialam. The spirit was surprised. She knew him. She looked at him confused and said, "How come you don't know that this person is very famous?" When he awakened, his soul power could condense into reality called the Light Sword. The spirit exclaimed, "Isn't it something that only after becoming a martial master can one achieve that state of soul power condensing into reality?" He was not surprised by his reaction. Talented people cannot be judged by common sense. Now he is a 4-star martial artist, the seed contestant of this year. The spirit admired, "That's impressive." Hang Kung appeared shouting in frustration. "What is this? Host, you are the strongest, you cannot lose. Complete the mission, win first place, and break the historical record that has existed in the secret realm. I am Long Ngao Thien, who has never existed before." He covered his face, sweating. "I knew it." "How long is the historical record?" It spoke confidently, 17 days. The spirit angrily shouted, "Then let me live there in peace." Hang Kung ignored it and continued, "Time in the secret realm is very fast. 15 days is equal to half an hour outside. It won't delay anything." He interrupted, "The secret realm is about to open. Will we enter the same secret realm if they discover my identity?" He comforted her. "Is there a blood connection? No worries, if not, the 2 of us will hold on to each other." After saying that, the 2 immediately held each other's hands. Luke Min above called the contestants. In the era of the law, 100 years ago, demons invaded the suffering beings. The cultivation world on the edge was destroyed, but the elders still persisted in replenishing the spirit veins, repelling the demons, resulting in the prosperity we have today. These secret realms still preserve the backdrop of that destruction period. I hope you inherit the will of the elders, train your body and mind in there, and break through yourself." He clasped his hands together, gathering strength in his palms. The head examiner, Luke Min, opened his hands, and the accumulated magic was unleashed, creating an invisible force that affected the contestants. Each person was quickly transported to different locations. Hai hazily woke up after being transported. She lay on the ground thinking, "It hurts so much. That guy pulled my hair with such force, and it ended up getting separated." Hee painfully raised her hand to where her hair was pulled. Suddenly, a voice rang out nearby. It must be Tin Tui Lin in the Black Earth Swamp. "Strange demons. I heard my senior sister say that contestants would be uniformly transported to a certain place in the secret realm and would then decide where to go, but everyone was separated as soon as they arrived here." Tu Lin saw Hee and asked, "Little sister, are you awake? It seems you were a bit dizzy from the teleportation. Are you okay?" And she saw the person in front turn pale. It was Thak Triet Vol. Tu Ling did not recognize him and continued, "We were planning to find food and bonuses want to go together." Hai was scared to the point of wanting to cry upon seeing him. "Help! Why did I run into them? My identity will be seen through." And she screamed in her heart, "Spirit, where are you?" Meanwhile, elsewhere, he was still holding on to Hai's hair. The space there was desolate, and the spirit's pants had fallen off. He looked down at this hair in his hand, then tiredly held his head. "Where is this?" Suddenly, a little demon flew in from somewhere. The spirit lowered his head easily, dodging its attack. He raised his leg quickly, retaliating. A powerful kick sent the little demon crashing to the ground. Seeing the one attacking the spirit speechless, not knowing what to comment, he mocked, "So weak yet trying to sneak attack." Hong Kong said that a little demon in this secret realm was named Dam Hak To Ma. Looking at the terrain, this is probably the Chuzung Plain. The fog here is all toxic, but you are completely immune. The spirit immediately remembers that Kuhi Tio Ho Li has entered this secret realm as well. You can sense her, but why are they separated? Shouldn't they have moved to the same place? You're not sure how to respond. Maybe the testing rules have changed. Look around to see if there's any danger. Find some food we need to ensure survival time. Seeing you staring down, Hang Kong wondered, "What's wrong?" The spirit bent down to pick up a handful of soil, squeezed it, and excitedly said, "Because there's so much," Hang Kung asked back. "What?" The spirit took out a hoe from the ring, excited that it was the most fertile land they had ever seen, better than Dai La Mountain. Not planting would be a waste. Hang Kung couldn't understand. You want to farm? Truly a genius. Running to a secret realm just to farm. Calm down a bit. If you keep trying to grow plants, now you'll starve. You replied with shining eyes. It's okay. I have bred fast-growing seeds and emergency flowering materials. With soul power to boost them, I can bear fruit in 3 days and grow food. Don't say I'll live. 17 days, I can live for a year. Hang Kung stopped the spirit. No, you came to compete, not to farm. Stop. Somewhere else a force struck the ground. Kuhai had a dark expression. Holding a mushroom next to her was Triet Va, still diligently using a hammer to collect mushrooms. Tuling appeared inquiring about the two. How's the digging going? He held up a basket full of mushrooms. Only one basket. Kuhai felt that something was off. This Triet Va was far from what she had imagined. She thought he would be a fierce and aggressive guy, but he was actually very taciturn and obedient to his sister. This girl named Tu Lin carefully held the basket of mushrooms. The further they went towards the Chiozhung plain, the less food there was. They needed to take the opportunity to dig more jelly mushrooms. Just then, a contestant appeared asking how much they had dug up. This is still not enough. Everyone follow me. I'm a contestant who knows where there's food. Upon hearing this, everyone quickly followed him. Deep down, Kuhai worried about where they were being led. Suddenly, she stepped on something on the ground. Kuhai frowned and lifted her foot to check. Upon realizing what she had stepped on, she immediately showed a look of disgust and quickly rubbed it off on a tree to get rid of it. Stepped in, Deng Tuling observed and realized there was too much waste on the road. She anxiously asked the leading contestant, "Where is this?" He raised a talisman with a sinister expression. One talisman swapped for a contestant getting eliminated is quite valuable. By the time everyone realized it was too late, they were surrounded by a tide of demons with no way to retreat. Shaoling is angry, but still calm, saying, "This is the lair of the demon dynasty, and yet they dare to secretly harm the people of the Thok family. After the exam is over, I must investigate who gave him this courage. Although you are too famous, you have been targeted." He doesn't pay attention to these little demons. A famous hero in the martial world will inevitably face jealousy from those who are nothing. I have been prepared for these schemes for a long time. Before Vo could finish his sentence to my bright sword, he was kicked to the ground by a little demon. Let me finish my speech. Ju Shi witnessed this and worried, "This is the bright sword." He angrily shouted, "You little demons! You have no sense of reason!" Little Lin did not hesitate, quickly gathering magic. A strike from her created a protective layer, knocking the demon court away. Little Lin reminded Avo, "Usually you should read less novels. When fighting, if you can act, don't say useless words." In another place, the spirit was sowing seeds into the ground. After finishing the sowing, he used a hoe to cover it up, and finally watered it for the seeds to sprout. The spirit lovingly looked at the planted produce. Hang Kwang was irritated by his actions. "You finally found some water, and you watered it like that. This is the fast-growing watermelon that I bred. With it, there will be no shortage of water. Just call it Little K. This is a cabbage called a bok dai huang. It's too weak, so scary. Even planting vegetables requires naming." He happily replied, "This is my romantic feeling. People drifting in this mortal world like you surely don't understand." Hong Kwang asked in confusion, "Why are you chopping down trees?" The spirit calmly replied, "To build a house as a fence." He didn't understand building houses, and the boy felt satisfied. After building the house, I can also go hunting. Life is truly interesting. Hong Kwang was tired and did not know what to say. My brain can't take it anymore. I want to go home. While the spirit was excited, an eagle flew by in the sky. It had seen him below. The eagle flew back to report to its master at a large city. At Black Dawn Camp, the eagle landed on the ground, transformed into a demon, and respectfully knelt down to report, "My lord," he asked about the situation in the demon court. He reported, "My lord, according to my investigation, a total of 57 people were transferred to the Chaoxiang Plain, most of whom are isolated alone and have been affected by the demon poison, unable to hold out for long. But there seems to be one person who is not affected by the demon poison. He is currently at the border of the secret realm. The atmosphere there is quiet." When the master reported the spirit's farming actions, the lord held his face in confusion. "I thought last year he came to dig for treasures, make a living, and blow up fireworks, which was already unreliable. I didn't expect that this year another person would jump out to farm. Well then, they're just a bunch of insignificant guys. You lead a team of high shadow demons to clean up the unrelated people." He spoke with a sinister tone. "After all, our target is just that Thak Triet Vo." The shadow demons surrounded where he was standing. They were grinding their teeth. Thak Triet Vo Xiaoling curiously asked, "How do these little demons know Avo's name?" Realizing the situation wasn't good, she reminded, Everyone, this is my soul power domain. It's unstable. I can only maintain it for a short time. Joshi was surprised by this statement. Soul power domain, isn't that a skill that only a Grand Martial Master can deploy? This elder sister is already a Grand Martial Master. Xiaoling told everyone, but the level of these shadow demons isn't high. Everyone rushing, surrounding, and attacking is enough. I am a healer, no need to worry about injuries. Avo cleared the way. He firmly replied, I cannot refuse dealing with a bunch of unruly demons like you. I won't talk about morality anymore, my sword. A beam of light shot out following the light. Triet Vo used all his strength to attack the light beams he controlled into a whirlwind, sucking the shadow demons in Triet Vo spun around to create the vortex. Xiaoling reminded, Avo, charge out, don't waste too much energy here. He used his strength to burst out. Triet Vo sped towards the shadow demons. No problem, a sweep from him easily took down the shadow demons. She saw that Triet Vo had cleared the area and said, let's go. Secretly feeling, this is really too exaggerated. Everyone quickly escaped the encirclement. Xiaoling reached out to pull him back. All right, Avo, let's run outside, then take a break. Triet Vo agreed. Anyway, I am hungry now. That little villain has underestimated me too much, thinking that a bunch of shadow demons could take me down. Unaware of her own strength, though she had escaped, she still remained vigilant. Successfully breaking out, she suddenly felt strange. How did the shadow demons in the secret realm know Avo? Could it be that someone is plotting against us, colluding with the shadow demons? Impossible. Moving outside a small house echoed with the voices of the shadow demons. This is the place. Oh yes, they looked at the scene before them, laughing sinisterly, humans causing a stir. The spirit, while growing the tree, was excited. My greatest happiness is to protect you as you grow up. He set a simple trap with bait being seeds. A mouse ran up to sniff the bait. It got trapped and was crushed by a rock. The spirit happily picked it up. Mouse Cake caught a field mouse. Let's go home and make soup. Hang Kuang saw this and was speechless. He cheerfully turned to tell Kuang, don't keep a long face like that. Anyway, the master needs to live long in the day, causing a stir every day. Isn't it good? Look, my cabbage is about to grow too. When the spirit returned, the vegetable garden was completely destroyed, and the fruits were also damaged. Your face is all black from witnessing your hard work being ruined. Several little demons are sitting in front of the house waiting. Why are you just staring? Are you scared? Look at his useless expression. He is definitely frightened. The spirit is in tears before the ruined vegetable beds. My vegetables, the little demons, saw the tears, and this bald kid is crying now. Your vegetables, brothers, have already enjoyed them. They are very sweet. Not letting him laugh for long, a heavy blow landed on his face, making him spin around. The little demon went crazy, shouting, You dare to hit me! He immediately pointed at the spirit and shouted, Brothers, deal with him! A group of little demons rushed forward without hesitation upon hearing the command. Before they could hit, one of them, attacking from above, was knocked away by the boy. The spirit swiftly dealt with each one efficiently. In the blink of an eye, the boy was standing in front of the one giving orders. He turned pale, terrified, sweating. The spirit, with a cold face and a deadly intent, looked down at the little demon who was so scared he could only stutter, How is it possible you're just a martial artist? The boy did not let him speak, asking sharply, Why did you trample on my vegetables? With the spirit pressing him down with one foot, he was terrified and screamed. At this moment, the boy was extremely angry, his eyes filled with killing intent, replying, Why did you trample on my vegetables? The little demon hurriedly begged the spirit to spare him. Hero, spare my life. The king of Black Little Village wants me to kill you. If there's a grievance, it has a source. If there's a debt, it has an owner. If something happened, you should go find our king. The boy lost his patience and kicked him down. Talking too much, the little demon was pinned down to the ground, leaving only his head above. The space there fell into silence. Hang Kuang appeared, calling for the host. The spirit summoned a weapon from the ring. With a cold face, he commanded, Warrior, activate. The warrior's arm around the spirit's arm was covered with large stones. The stones gradually vanished. Suddenly, there was a shock from his arm surrounded by fire. The spirit, though not saying a word, had a very grim expression. One eye turned yellow with rays of power. He engraved 3 words, Black Little Village. The little demon was hit, spitting out blue blood. The warrior was now exhausted, casually looking at it. He wiped the sweat and recounted. The little demons have been attacking me more and more these past few days. This is already the 5th time. The teammates beside him complained about being too hungry. Xiaoling was also exhausted and thought to herself, moreover, their levels are not high and their killing intent is not heavy. It feels like they are purposely trying to drain our strength. If we can't replenish much, continuing like this will not be good. Little Vo felt hungry and blurted out, "Is there anything left to eat?" She looked into the basket and replied, "There's only a little bit of mushrooms left. Let's try hunting later." Joshi felt thoughtful upon seeing this. Fortunately, he often went hungry before, so this little bit was nothing to him. With the help of Blood Pact, I can endure for a long time without eating or drinking. The closer they got to the plains, the stronger the reaction of Blood Pact became. The spirit is there. Why is the situation here so dangerous? His side must be in worse shape. Suddenly, her throat lit up, and Jushi looked at what was pouring out in panic. What was happening? My soul power is being consumed quickly. Have I encountered danger through Blood Pact? The spirit is using its ultimate move, hands clasped together, radiating fire. The group of demon tide in front charged forward simultaneously, their faces fierce. The spirit punched one in the face with its left hand and struck another directly in the eye with its right. The little demon didn't react in time before his hand reached out. Before realizing what the spirit just did, he saw it bleeding from the nose. He struck quickly like lightning. The little demons were defeated one by one. Seeing its side at a disadvantage, it angrily gritted its teeth and cursed, "Hateful humans, I'll go all out against you." After saying that, it charged at the spirit. He glared at the little demon that was biting him, feeling the killing intent. The spirit bit back and shouted, "Is biting the only thing you know?" The little demon didn't expect this situation, hurriedly fled and cried for help. "Help me!" Suddenly, a beam of purple light flew in from afar. He quickly noticed the spirit's disdain swatting away the purple thing. Suddenly, a voice laughed. "Good martial arts, king of little demons, looking down on such quick reactions. Perhaps you have reached the level of half-martial grandmaster." Unfortunately, this king is now an intermediate celestial beast equivalent to a 2-star martial grandmaster. He was feeling pleased. "You can only stop here." Then he took a full punch to the face. That punch sent the king flying about 10 meters, crashing straight into the wall, blood pouring out. The king was dazed, unable to believe, how can this be? This speed and power. He snapped his fingers and he saw the spirit appear right in front of him, terrified. "Martial King Realm." He grabbed the king's head and growled, "You are the king of the Black Tide camp, right?" The spirit coldly declared, like the king of hell demanding a life. "This move is for a buy." The wall could no longer withstand it, gradually cracking more. Finally, the dent shattered into a huge hole. He executed each move seriously, declaring, "This is for Xiaoxi, for Da Huang, for Zhuang Zhuang, for Cao Cao, for Da Ye, for Xiaobo. Get up, it's only been a few moves, don't faint. Remember this. You can trample me, but you cannot trample my vegetables." Now the spirit clenched, both hands flames bursting forth. He dropped the vegetable bag in front of him. The king stared blankly as the spirit commanded, "Sincerely apologize to them." The great king, with a face full of blood, stood there in shock. "Please, excuse me. Excuse me for the leaves," but he still complied. "Please, I'm sorry." His spirit was still angry and dissatisfied. "There is no sincerity at all. You do not respect the fruits of my labor, ordering others to maliciously destroy my fields, trample on my vegetables, and now you apologize so casually it seems you haven't been beaten enough." The great king was terrified. "No, I was wrong. Old man of the vegetables, I was wrong, sir. Please forgive me." Now he just noticed Little Demon turning pale beside him. His spirit loudly ordered, "What are you all still standing there for? Come apologize as well." The sound of apologies echoes to my old man of the vegetables. "I'm sorry to my old man of the vegetables. I was wrong. I won't dare again next time." He stood there with a serious face. "Ah, by Zhuang, I have avenged you." His spirit clasped his hands to bid them farewell. Suddenly, he felt something unusual. Why could he sense a faint wave of soul energy below this camp? The spirit grabbed his hair and pressed, "Wait a moment. What's down under the camp?" The great king avoided eye contact, stammering, "No, there's nothing." He delivered a slap without mercy. He cried out in pain. "The basement beneath the camp has a cellar that stores a bit of food. There's really nothing else." The spirit gently stroked his chin, feeling intrigued. "Is that true? I don't believe it. Take me down to see." As he walked, he said, "Do you mean groundhogs or the demon spirits? You know how to dig, huh?" The great king replied, "You're joking. Look here, just a little food. There's nothing else hidden." After that, he turned to say, "Let's go up." The spirit didn't believe it, so he used his divine eye ability, grinning, "There's probably something else hidden, I doubt it." He kicked hard right where he was standing. The wall across began to glow red. The red chains immediately became clear. The great king trembled, and the spirit spoke. "You're quite cautious, even using a formation to conceal and cover the eyes and ears of others, but my divine eye is still quite good. What treasures do you have here? Let me see what good stuff you've hidden." Inside, a girl was tied up, and it seemed that there were not just one but many young girls captured in this place. He froze, mouth agape. "The enemy's guest guards, I recognize you a contestant who can help us. We set up a formation in the plains and were hit by a poison attack. Ambushed by a group of demon spirits, they killed all the southern contestants and locked us up here." Suddenly, a strong person appeared before the host. He interrupted. "Understood, understood, understood. Save her, take her into the harem, right? I will help her." It retorted, "No, definitely take them all in." The spirit reddened his eyes. "Are you even human anymore?" Suddenly, a voice interjected. Can you save my lady first?"
Babe.
Hotch Gang asked this one for help. "It's the third Princess Lam Kui of the Gia Lam royal family. After she was poisoned, she started to run a high fever. Without medicine, I can't treat her. If you can help, I will be very grateful." He was flustered. A member of the royal family of Dai Vuong was suspended on a pole, humiliated with a sign around their neck stating, "Kidnapping women." Stepping on the Ma Mountain, the despicable Chiu Ma below looked frightened, sweating profusely. On this side, the weak spirit couldn't find a clean bed, so they placed her on this table temporarily. Hot Kang did that. According to the gratitude of the friend seeing the poisoned state of Lam Kui, he explained, "Usually people affected by poison will have their soul power diminished, but the princess is experiencing a continuous high fever and remains in a coma. Initially wanting to transfer the soul spirit to her, but the soul spirit seems to have lost its effectiveness." Hot Can questioned. "Although the princess is noble, she has been very healthy since childhood. How could she be so weak?" The spirit speculated that it might be related to the components of the poison. "I have analyzed the poison and found that it is generated because..." He rested his chin on his hand, looking dangerous. "The judgment of the M.A. Tide, she punishes people repeating the mental judgment clearly. The M.O. Tide likes to defecate everywhere. Their excrement doesn't have a strong smell, but it easily produces a mesmerizing gas. The mesmerizing gas then floats in the fog. In the plains, this mixture creates the poisonous tide. It could be that the princess has never been in such a dire situation, so she was poisoned to the point of fever." Hak Kan, upon hearing this, was so scared that he broke into a sweat. This is nonsense, but it makes quite a bit of sense. It was also the Highness who was knocked out by the excrement. "So may I ask how to resolve the poisonous tide?" The spirit sincerely responded. "It's not difficult to resolve, but in this environment, even if you detoxify, you will be poisoned again, not getting to the root. She is getting hotter and hotter, then we can only leave the Emma Tide Plains." He continued calmly. "It doesn't need to be so troublesome. I have a way to detoxify the poisonous tide which is farming." After saying this, the spirit's expression remained unchanged. This is the second time Hachkan is stunned speechless, making him unconsciously recall after entering the secret realm, "I have always been growing vegetables." During the growth process of the plants, it will absorb the toxic gas and release spiritual energy. If it is a spiritual herb with spiritual energy, the detoxification effect will increase significantly. Just in time, I have this secret weapon, the accelerated medicinal seed, which can bear fruit in 1 or 2 days, saving everything. In this life, I will not refuse. I want to completely resolve this poisonous tide, detoxify the toxic gas, and return the blue sky to the secret realm. I hope you friends will help me." The spirit clenched his fists, calling for everyone to plant vegetables together. Hang Kung couldn't help but appear, reminding the host that I told you to take them into the harem, not to drag them to farm. It observed your disgusted attitude, starting to ramble. Seeing that your negative attitude towards the harem now has the latest encouragement mechanism for the harem. As long as you can make the girls in the mission reach the standard of goodwill, you can receive an opportunity to draw rewards with generous rewards. The spirit of disdain is evident. What good reward can you possibly have? Hang Kwong is tempting, for example, with some divine tools for farming. You are attracted by these words, flattering Brother Kwong. You are truly my biological elder brother. Collecting goodwill is no problem. Just pay attention. The guest guard then asked, "Isn't it a bit unrealistic for you to grow vegetables? We have never farmed before, and moreover, we can't grow much." The spirit is calming the issue is not big. Farming is not difficult. This is the agricultural book that I wrote. Everyone take a look. Learning must go hand in hand with doing. Tomorrow, everyone can see how I farm. As for manpower, it needs to be expanded. The most indispensable thing is manpower. The Chiu Ma group over here is still busy discussing. With the king in this state, we won't be killed, right? The king is tied up too enticing. The scene shifts to 10 days later with someone moving. The group from Triet Va has finally arrived after much hardship. He announced, "We finally made it. Ahead is Hak Chiu Tri." Tiu Ling looked around cautiously. The situation here is much better than I imagined. There are very few hostile spirits, and I don't see any evil spirits. Aren't the bizarre beasts in the plains supposed to be the highest difficulty? Being overly cautious is strange. I heard there are several evil spirit kings in the camp close to the level of Votong, so we can't let our guard down. Little did he know that the dangerous king had already been dealt with. The warrior gave the order, his gaze firm. "Let's go, just be a bit careful." I also want to see how tough Hak Chiu Tri is in this secret realm. The scene shifts. On the left side of the gate is a plaque overhead with densely packed golden characters. The right side is no less impressive, forming a couplet. The two looked up at the grandeur of the camp gate, both stunned and visibly shocked. They gradually stepped closer to the gate of Hak Chiu Tri. Trukva and Tiu Ling focused their gaze ahead. Hak Chiu Tri, a voice called out, "Do you want to enter the camp?" "Trio Maja welcomes you." "Hello, welcome to New Hak Chiu Tri. I am Trio Ainung, reception number 10. He adjusted his glasses happily, saying, "Oh my, you are Triet Vol, right? I have seen your paintings." He was hospitable, grabbing his hand. "We all know you come in quickly. The supervisor of this department is waiting for you." Triet Vol was bewildered. "What?" Ainung enthusiastically pulled him along. "I won't harm you, just work and you will have food. Many candidates have come to grow vegetables with us. Look, come in and take a look." Triet Vol struggled. "I don't want you to let go." Go. But he still wouldn't let go and kept going. At that moment, Hoch Kan walked in, saw the scene, and called out, "Thak Kung Tu Tui Tiu Tu, everyone is really here." She was also surprised. Chief Guard Hoch Kan and Tiu Ling observed the clothing on her. Hoch Kan shyly touched the shirt, explaining. Master So said, "This is the uniform of research staff. It's a long story. Let's go inside and talk. It's very safe here." Ku He was sweating. "Is this so someone I know?" Moving to a different location where there were many trees and crops, a Tam was in the field, sweating a bit enthusiastically, greeting Hakonung. He pointed at Atu, yelling, "Hey, why are you peeing everywhere? You really have no qualities at all, ruining the public environment. The public restroom is right next door and you've completely forgotten the lessons from the instructor, haven't you?" He was scared, couldn't hold it in. A Tam angrily questioned, "So is that why you peed inappropriately? It seems your awareness isn't sufficient yet. Don't eat dinner tonight. Copy the rules for ecological environmental protection of the Hak Trio farm 100 times. Atu cried, "Please don't. I was wrong. I won't do it again." The people standing there were also startled. "The elegance of the Matao is unbelievable." Hakan smiled. "Isn't it surprising?" She raised her fist, her voice full of determination. "At first, I didn't believe they could walk the righteous path. Master So said we must educate to develop thinking. For Trio Ma, I even feel they are untrustworthy. But the truth has proven we cannot discriminate against Trio Ma. Any race can be united because we all aspire to the beautiful blue sky. Under Master So's guidance with sufficient thought strength, wisdom, and charm, Hak Tho Ma Chiu will definitely be able to start a new life." Hoch Kan's determination made everyone feel illuminated. She excitedly took Tulin's hand. "Let's go. I'll lead everyone to meet the great master, so together we will build Hak Tru Tri." She was pulled away, confused, asking, "What?" Each guide moved to the new location. The inside buzzed with comments. "We must use the juice from the bimbip plant with alum. The spirit of painting nails while guiding, applying a few more layers of color will make it very bright. Apply it on the hands, and after a few days it will fade." Tu Hua looked at his hands and exclaimed, "So beautiful, Master. So you are amazing. I can't create this color." He proudly said, "It's just a skill not worth mentioning." Even Hang Kung had to praise, "You really know a lot. I told you to date those girls, not to be like sisters with them. You are the king of the harem, not just sisters." The spirit looked at the display index and proudly said, "But the progress didn't slow down. Look at this favorability. It immediately yelled, "You are so despicable, shameless!" He perked up his ears playfully, saying, "Great talk more." Hang Kung was even angrier. "You are playing tricks on me!" Outside, Master So and a few others, including Thach Kung Tu, had arrived. Hearing that, it gradually faded away. Hak Kan happily introduced, "This is Master So." So Tin Than recognized an acquaintance. Too heating to notice that Hong Kong seemed a bit unusual, he panicked and asked, "Damn, what's wrong with you?" It announced, "The magnetic field of this Chiet Vo guy is off." His whole body emitted a strong source of energy. Then a sphere-like object appeared and strongly impacted Hong Kong. "Sure enough, this is a high-level system prop luck transformation," the spirit said with some doubt. "The prop of the green circle system is getting bigger." The spirit was confused. "Transforming fate. What is this?" Hang Kung explained. "It can take someone else's fate and transfer it to the user. The prop is a high-level prop. Only with the help of heavenly Tao can it be created. Many Long Ngao Thien became fate trimasters thanks to this." He wondered, "Does this mean that Chiet Vo has a system even stronger than you?" It replied, "Impossible. I can't sense any system on him. If there were another system when I arrived, it would have been ejected, and it wouldn't be able to enter this world. Moreover, Chiet Vo is not a user of fate transformation. Attention focused on him. He is someone whose fate has been robbed." Hak Kan confusingly exclaimed, "Master So." The spirit was deep in thought. "Indeed, he has been targeted by someone. Earlier during the exam, didn't you notice anything unusual about him? Maybe after he entered the secret realm, someone changed his fate." Hong Kong nodded in agreement. "That's right. You should probe a bit, ask him first." The spirit stepped forward friendly. "Thach Kung Tu, nice to meet you." Chiet Vo clasped his hands in greeting. "Master, so nice to meet you. On my way here, I heard Hak Thi Wei speak about you. I admire you. To save all living beings in Ma Trio, you led everyone to brew wine, grow vegetables, and cleanse the poison of the tide. Truly wisdom and benevolence compared to someone like me who only cares about passing the exam. You are not even 1/10,000th of a part in heart or sight." The spirit was surprised by his enthusiasm and excitement. "What's wrong with this guy? He keeps rambling. Truly. A great hero. Impressive." Q Hai felt embarrassed for him. A series of expressions changed continuously. He was a fool. The spirit thought happily. No wonder he was so easy to deceive, the biggest fool ever. He laughed loudly in response to Thach Kung Tu. "You're too modest. I just did what a righteous person would do. Any scholar could do it. You and I are allies from now on. How about we address each other as brothers?" Chiet Vo joyfully shook hands. "That's great." The spirit then asked, "By the way, Thach Huyn, what happened before you arrived here? Can you tell me the details?" He didn't let the other party answer, but kept rambling. "I caught the king of Hak Trio Tri wanting to know his purpose and plan. Later, we discovered that you were their main target. Then the king appeared. Hello, director. Hello, esteemed guests. I am Chao Kin So, originally the king of the Black Tide camp." Eager to know the story in detail, he said, "Quickly, no need for formalities. Recount your experiences for them." He nodded and replied, "Yes." The king raised his hand to adjust his glasses and began to narrate. "You all know that the secret realm only opens during the exam period, and normally there can be no contact with the outside world. But 2 months ago, when the competition began, someone entered my dream realm." Hearing about Tio Lin and Triet Vo left them a bit stunned. He continued, "I couldn't see his face clearly, only felt his immense power. He wanted me to work for him in this secret realm. At first, I didn't believe it, but in front of him I was elevated from a Grand Master to a second-tier martial artist, and he promised to release me from the secret realm after the task was completed. After the demon clan's defeat, we had been trapped in this secret realm for more than 100 years. The debate grew, and I agreed to his request. Initially, he wanted me to capture several noble women and imprison them. This was easy to do. I started by targeting those affected by the poisonous charm, then moved on to capture Triet Vo. He said he wanted to torment Triet Vo, but not take his life, making him suffer more than death. The two people still had tense expressions. Suddenly, Tu Lin smiled coldly. I was blind to it, only wanting to complete the mission to get outside, so I thought to myself that I was just a fool being deceived. Looking back at his rapid rise in rank now, it might be due to some system item. The weaker the host, the greater the effect of the destiny transformation. That mysterious person wanted to quickly seize control through summoning demons. After all, where did he obtain that system item? Clearly, I am the only system in this world, and you couldn't stop praising it. Useless. There was a thoughtful Tulin saying that the contestant who initially wanted to harm us was that mysterious person. The spirit trembled and asked the contestant, "Does she have her memories back?" Yes, I remember he had a handsome face. A mysterious person standing outside the black extermination camp. What happened when Vo entered? I linked failure with the destiny transformation. Then the contestant expressed deep regret. I originally wanted to have a little demon kidnap the princess. Then I would come in as the hero to save the beauty with both fate and fame in my hands. But looking at the state of the black extermination camp now, he performed a spell to give me a disguise item. Let's infiltrate and see. The image is clearly drawn on the paper. Tuling just lifted her pen and told everyone, "This is the person," Triadvo praised, "looks just like him." The spirit standing beside was also stunned. I am willing to call her the Picasso of the cultivation world. Outside, there was an announcement from the director. There are several new contestants outside very resistant to summoning demons. You should do some ideological work. At the same time, at Hakchiu Tri I Nung was explaining wholeheartedly, "Miss, we have changed. We won't harm you." However, that girl still stubbornly hated them. "Don't touch me, Chiu Ma. It'll be a long time before I believe what you say. My teammates were killed by your Chiu Ma, farming with your Chiu Ma. Have you lost your mind? Hakchiu Tri surely has some scheme to lure us into a trap." Ainung also earnestly explained, "What scheme is there? It's called mutual benefit. If you want to farm, come into the camp. We'll provide free food and lodging. Everyone will solve the Shu Doc and survive long term." While he was struggling to explain, a spirit appeared, the director. So waved his hand sternly and said, "If you don't want to farm, go elsewhere. Chiu Ma won't cause trouble for you. Stop talking nonsense at the camp gate. It's affecting our internal unity." A cheerful figure shouted loudly because someone came to his aid. "Teacher, so look at everyone," continuing. "Of course, if there are any conflicts among you, feel free to report them to me." Dai Va put his arm around Ainung's shoulders and laughed. "There's no conflict. Our relationship is very good, extremely harmonious." A young man raised his hand. "Can I join in farming? Just give me food and I won't go with her." Originally wanting to enter Hakchiu Tri, he was even more delighted to hold his hand. "Of course you're welcome, welcome." Why? The disguised contestant gritted his teeth in anger. This Hakchiu Tri is totally untrustworthy. It's impossible to create conflict between humans and Ma. It seems to all be related to that, so guy. I'll temporarily go inside to clarify the situation. With that, he changed his expression and smiled flatteringly at everyone. "I misunderstood earlier. Now I want to join, is that okay?" The spirit didn't want to be picky. "If you want to come in, then come." At the same time, Hang Kung reported, "The host is that mysterious person currently using a disguise tool. For now I can't separate his tool, but you gently tell him not to act, be careful not to disturb the forest. Normal contestants who come here are all starved and can't speak, only he can cause trouble. It seems there is a system helping him. He has been living well these days, right?" The spirit smiled and told Hang Kung to let him in and see what he does. I also want to see what he plans to do. Ai Nung, with a hospitable expression, introduced the disguised contestant. "This is the women's room of the human race. You can rest here first." The Chiao Ma in the camp have also been going in the right direction under the guidance of Director So please trust us. Everyone lives together happily. Keep it up and rest well. He smirked. "Are you sick?" Then looked around cautiously, being alert to everything. "Have you investigated his background?" The scroll replied that it couldn't find anything. Just a nameless minor character. He demanded, "Do you have any enchanting tools? Give me one." Among everyone in Hakchiu Tri, only he is the toughest. If I want to control the situation, I must control him first. This camouflage outfit isn't bad, plus it's alluring. I don't believe he wasn't hit. It was just getting dark, the night was late, and the place was lit up. The oil lamps were already lit. Spirit looked at the girl on the bed and said that the concentration of the Chiu poison had decreased significantly, taking the pulse. The princess should wake up in the next 2 days. The guest guard breathed a sigh of relief. "It's thanks to you." He smiled, said polite words, then added, "It's getting late, I'll head back now." She bowed to see him off. "Take care." After bidding farewell, Spirit headed home. As soon as he entered the door, he was surprised by the silhouette of a woman. Before Spirit could recover from his surprise, that voice greeted him. "You're back." The fiery silhouette with seductive gestures stood there calling the instructor. So, 2 minutes earlier, as Spirit was walking home, Hang Kung appeared to announce, "Host, there's someone in your room, it's that guy. He has seductive camouflage on him. He wants to use feminine charm to entice you. Ridiculous, with a chest that big, he still wants to seduce me." It reminded me to be cautious and prepared for the unexpected. "I'll give you a system corn set. You won't be affected by the props, and it might even backfire." Spirit happily received it, filled with determination to break through the door and let him teach you a lesson. With a seductive figure and delicate speech, the instructor. "So you're back." The romantic image from Spirit's perspective is so different. He was in shock. Terrified, Spirit was vomiting uncontrollably, not understanding what was wrong with this person, instructor. "So what's wrong with you?" He vomited while raising his hand to stop. "Don't come near, stay away from me." Spirit felt the scene before him was too offensive. The person in front of me, my eyes hurt so much all my insides are twisted. At the same time, Hang Kung reported, "This is a side effect of corn. You will see the most disgusting things to stay alert." The impersonator was also surprised by his fierce attitude and cursed inwardly. "What's wrong with this person? A beauty has offered herself and he's throwing up like this. Gay, huh? If you're gay, don't think you can escape from me." He opened his charm, continuing with heavier moves, hugging Spirit tightly, whispering, "Instructor, it feels so good. Instructor, you're making me heartbroken. Don't you like me?" From his perspective, the romantic image continued to replay. Spirit truly couldn't stand it anymore. His eyes wanted to bleed. The sound of vomiting grew louder, drawing attention from outside. The impersonator also couldn't take it anymore, shouted loudly, "As long as he doesn't vomit anymore, can't you stop? Look into my eyes." Tiu He outside called out worriedly, "What's wrong with Spirit? Who's in your room?" As she opened the door, the chaotic scene struck her eyes. Tiu He's face darkened, silently cursing. She quickly closed the door and said, "I'm sorry for the trouble." Seeing this, he screamed for help. "Don't go, kid. Save me, I'm about to throw up." Tiu Hai disgustedly dragged her feet away, ignoring the Spirit's plea. "Don't touch me, filthy humans." He hugged her, crying loudly, "It's terrible, he's a pervert. He seduced me. I'm about to throw up." What did Tu He suddenly say? At the same time, everyone arrived. "Why is it so noisy?" "Teacher, so we're going to cook you some calming soup." Another person questioned, "Why are you two dressed so neatly?" Quickly pulling at their clothes, everyone darkened their faces, thinking about the unspoken rules of the tour guide. "Isn't it amazing?" the Spirit screamed, protesting. "It's not what everyone thinks. I am innocent. He wants to violate me." Everyone was suspicious. Violated, all angrily shouted, "Beast!" Yet he wants to tarnish it. "Teacher." So Hach Khan ordered, "Catch her." He felt the situation was getting harder. It seemed impossible to control this place. So the one disguised firmly held the scroll, silently casting powers behind the emergency signal. "That's the host, be careful. The Spirit is affected by an extremely strong light." Everyone was blinded by that light. The scene was enveloped by the cast powers. He held her tightly, watching everything unfold. Hach Khan looked confused. "What's happening?" And the Spirit worriedly asked Tu He, "What's wrong with you?" The face of Q He gradually changed. She became fierce, scarier. He was not afraid at all, holding Ku Hai's head, pushing down. "Are you biting me to rebel?" The current situation was not just her going crazy. Everyone around was gradually becoming more insane. The emergency signal was losing reason, which could expose demons entering a state of madness, just like being surrounded and attacked. "It's those damn idiots. Where did they get so many high-level props?" Absolutely unreasonable. There was a dimension demon attacking the Spirit from behind. Ainung shouted loudly, "Warning to the guide, be careful," then turned to ask, "Are you okay?" He happily called out to Ainung, "You're still conscious. Are you not affected?" He held his hands and replied, "Just now I really felt restless, intensely mad. But in my ears the guide's voice taught me, new demons, new era, accept new thoughts. How can I be controlled by primal madness?" So I managed to suppress this heat, returning to calm my spirit's eyes, wet with emotion. "Ainung, I didn't expect you to have such high enlightenment. I'm willing to call you the light of the demon realm. The future of the demon tribe is entrusted to you." He was full of enthusiasm, responding, Rest assured, guide Ai Nong will not let you down. Hang Kwang could not stand the sight of the couple, anxiously said, "Don't talk nonsense anymore." That bastard ran to the east. The spirit looked at Ku He with suspicion, who was also in a frenzy. The spirit asked Ai Nong for help. "Take care of her, knock out the little mad demon, don't harm her life." He agreed and replied, Okay. You intend to answer the doubts of Ai Nong? I will go deal with that pervert. The east is where the princess lives." A mysterious figure appeared at the house. The contestant disguised himself and smiled smugly. "If I can't control the Kokchio, try, then destroy it." Seeing the mad nature of the demon, I wonder how you all can still live harmoniously. Taking advantage of a demon's riot, I will rescue the princess. That is a great merit. Then I will use enchantment on the princess. She will definitely fall deeply in love with me. Thinking of that, he self-dramatized. "Princess, I'm here." The spirit hurried over and saw a large fire raging around the house. He was very worried and scared. Hang Kwang was also extremely panicked. "It's the princess's room. Why did it explode? He doesn't want to blow up the princess, does he?" The anxious spirit said, "Wait! A figure is gradually appearing in the fire." It was Princess Lam Kui standing proudly amidst the raging flames. Lam Kui's face suddenly became serious, her eyes burning fiercely. The spirit used the strength of his eyes and stared at her intently. Hach Kan rushed over, shouting, "Princess Lam Kui!" Holding a torch, she softly said, "Khan, that's it." She rushed to embrace her prince tightly and said, "I saw the fire raging here. I knew right away that you had woken up." "You're okay, that's really great." He pointed at that guy, the one I saw as soon as I opened my eyes, touching my leg with a vulgar expression. I couldn't control myself and burned the room down. Hach Kan, standing behind, heard this, and his face darkened, touching her leg like that. She pushed Lam Kui back and said, "Your Highness, let me handle him. You stay back a bit." Hach Kan angrily warned, "This filthy thing will dirty your hands." Immediately after, she rushed in without hesitation at high speed. He, all scratched up, still tried to brace himself to fight back. Hach Kan, furious, wielding her sword, charging in, accelerating. At the altar, she suddenly stopped trembling and exclaimed, "This pile of mud, Hang Kwang!" At this moment, a notification appeared. His martial spirit is mud-enhanced by a tool. The grand martial artist also found it hard to escape. The spirit master, feeling frustrated, punched a few times and then said, "It's so filthy." The other guy found it a bit difficult and exclaimed, "The plan has been completely ruined. There's a tool to erase memories. Hurry and get it for me." He struck a solid blow, and the man, in pain and fear, hugged his face, exclaiming, How could you escape?" The spirit was punching and cursing. "With just a few tricks of yours, you think you can hold me back? You want to destroy the Black Twilight Camp? Are you dreaming?" Hach Kan, seeing the boy full of passion, shouted in praise, "Master Zhou is doing great, beat him to death. Master Zhou is too powerful." The other guy, beaten to a pulp, thought to himself, "So strong, martial sect realm. Why can this person always ruin my good plans? If I get caught here, won't I fall into that situation again? No way, I have to resist. I want everyone to submit to me." The 25-year lifespan scroll, he took out a new weapon and gritted his teeth, ordering, "Kill him for me." The spirit suddenly froze for a few seconds. He couldn't move at all in front of this new move from the opponent. The spirit's gaze became hollow, as if he were being hypnotized. Then a strange electric current appeared. He was now slumped on the ground, holding tightly to the scroll in his hand. Hach Kan and Lam Kui exclaimed in shock, "Master Zhou, that guy is laughing wickedly." She asked, "Where have you taken Master Zhou?" He smirked with a terrifying expression, replying, "He has been eaten." Then he walked over to Lam Kui and gently continued, "Although the price is a bit high, there's no one to stop me anymore, my princess." Hach Kan trembled in fear, softly calling, "Your Highness." She glared and shouted, "Get out, disgusting!" He smiled cunningly. "The princess is indeed proud. It's best for you to remain proud like this from now on." The contestant spoke while gathering strength. "It's more fun to play around." Just as he was feeling pleased, an unexpected attack appeared that was some martial skill. He appeared just in time and said, "The hero always shows up at the crucial moment." The spirit still didn't understand what was happening. He stared blankly, left and right, then looked down at his feet. 33. Tinthan was stunned and wondered, "Where is this?" Hang Kung appeared at this moment. He looked over and exclaimed, "This is Kong, brother, you are here too." Tinthan saw a few words appear on the system. Reading them, he slowly recognized the system space. Hach Kan stood there motionless. She was worried about Triet Va and quietly called, young Master Thak. Just then the mud that trapped her and Lam Kui also broke apart. Hotkan joyfully exclaimed, "We got out, is young Master Thak that strong?" "Fake." Just then a voice came from behind. Avaw's glorious sword naturally counters mud. It was Tu Lin. She kindly asked, "Are you two hurt?" They were surprised and exclaimed, "Miss Tui?" She approached and gently continued, "Just now the summoned demon suddenly went berserk. We wanted to find Teacher So. Mr. Ainung said he went this way." Huklum was still anxiously calling, "Something's wrong with Teacher So." She worriedly reminded young Master Thak, "Be careful, he has a magic weapon that can teleport." "Teacher So has been hit, then disappeared." The contestant continued to be beaten, gritting his teeth and thinking, "This person is truly sinister. It seems he has a magic weapon I can't see." To shift his attack in a strange way, the contestant frowned and thought about being plotted against by this person. "So, Huin, I hope nothing happens." Over here, the spirit was still lost in a sweet dream. Han Kung appeared and said, "Are you getting out?" He replied nonchalantly, "I just tried everything. There's no way to get out. What can I do if I'm not sleeping?" The spirit lazily yawned and continued, "Isn't this a system space? You should have a way, right?" Speaking as if sensing something, it was very strange in here. Han Kung began to explain, "After connecting with the heavenly Tao, the system will form a system space belonging to itself, using the consciousness to create high-level props. But in here, there is no consciousness of the system like a hollow shell without a soul. I checked the Siri number, found it was just low-level AI, a clumsy substitute for the system's consciousness. If relying on the pre-established sequence to operate, then that scroll is just a mechanism providing fake system props." After hearing this, the spirit just smiled and replied, "The fake system has a bunch of real system props. Even the space of oneself is not present." He rested his chin on his hand, thought for a moment, and continued, "So it feels like we are locked in someone else's house. There was no one in the house, just an AI. We also don't know how to leave here." It nodded in agreement. "That can be understood." The spirit had a bit of a fascination and thought, "We could just take over its house." Han Kung, after hearing this, praised without stopping, "Kid, you are truly a genius." When he heard this, he was startled and jumped up, asking, "Is that really possible?" It frankly stated, "Just try it. After all, this AI can infiltrate easily. If they dared to lock us in here, they must be prepared well." Saying this, Han Kung opened up a vast, virtual space for people, expanding the strength of the elite progression system. Over here, the Vaw was still striving to fight against that contestant. The battle between the two was still tense with no end in sight. Lam Kui at this moment rushed in with a weapon to support him. She narrowed her eyes and used a move called Martial Artist's Fury technique. A loud explosion occurred, causing the Vaw to be thrown far away as a result. Lam Kui still seriously rushed in front of her, revealing his figure. Lam Kui, annoyed, pulled him out and scolded him a few times. Again, with this attitude, she frowned and exclaimed, "So annoying. Every time we're about to hit them, either they suddenly shift, or this strange shield appears." "Oh, Vaw, wake up." That contestant was now in a pitiful state, slumped on the ground. His face scratched and bruised, staring at Lam Kui and thinking, "I had to exhaust all my props just to barely withstand their attacks. I can't waste any more energy fighting them." Behind him, he still tightly held on to the calligraphy scroll and murmured, "There are only 4 types of the strongest systems in the world, healing, enhancement, defense, and leveling up, different from the original cultivation method. Allowing Hak Treo Vung to use this can continuously level up until the limit of his body is reached. However, this greatly depletes lifespan. To completely suppress them, I must advance to a grand martial artist first." He looked at Triet Vaw and Lam Kui, who had approached, but even so, without hesitation, trading lifespan would still turn him back into a dog. Anyone could bully him. Immediately, a large source of energy erupted. Hotkan gritted his teeth to withstand the turmoil. The soul force is too strong. Is he breaking through? In front of them, the traitor was becoming stronger. "Ah Lin, enhance me." She immediately cast an enhancement spell. He charged forward without hesitation, needing to deal with him before his alertness stabilized. One sword slashed down, breaking apart his explosive power. Done before the fiery sword reached the enemy, a liquid burst out. Tu Ling observed and also felt something was off, timely creating a protective barrier to withstand the attacking mud. But the traitor kept attacking continuously, wanting to kill and twining with the Vaw. But just at that moment, he lashed out with a whip, catching Hot Khan, who had joined the battle. Her whip pulled the enemy away, causing the traitor to be caught off guard. Lam Kui simultaneously coordinated the attack. One hammer strike created a collision that shook the heavens, knocking him down and causing the ground to explode. Va also poured strength into a beam of fire, throwing it forcefully towards the traitor. In mid-air, Lam Kui continuously spun, gaining momentum, and just as the beam of fire shot towards him, he seized the opportunity, striking its tail with a hammer, increasing the pressure, causing the beam to crash down like lightning, exploding an entire area of land with overwhelming power. Tu Ling was still able to hold on with protection. Lam Kui returned and asked, "Is it taken care of?" She observed the situation and replied, "Perhaps." But suddenly the ground beneath them shook and everyone was caught by the muddy ground. "What?" The traitor walked up to them and said, "Impressive. This move of yours is enough to rival a peak grandmaster. What a pity I've already reached the martial arts realm." Saying this, he kicked Triet Va in the face, shocking Tu Lin. "Ah, the martial arts!" The traitor sneered. "Light sword, the attribute I hate the most, is yours." My hands really hurt. Anyway, I can cleanse memories, so before that I can toy with you all. This made Lam Kui furious. "Dare to do such a thing to me? Be careful, my father has slain 9 of your clans." He maliciously laughed. "Maybe by then you'll be crying and begging for my mercy. I am the one chosen by heaven." Just then a fist struck directly at his jaw. That arm actually extended from the scroll, and a person gradually surfaced as if crossing through space. Everyone was startled to see him. Teacher Zhou. The spirit confusedly asked, "What are you doing dragging everyone down here?" And the artistic behavior hacky laugh said, "Not wrong." They shouted loudly, "Teacher, so be careful." Just then he decisively swatted it away easily. His spirit of disdain brushed off. Was it mud? "You've ruined the quality of the soil." The traitor angrily retorted, "What about you? Haven't you died in there?" He yelled angrily, "Die for me!" Just then, he quickly lifted his foot and with a strong stomp, formed a wall of earth to block the attack, leaving the people from Lam stunned. Following the spirit cheerfully peeking out from the stone wall. "You like playing in the mud, don't you?" And then without hesitation, he punched down into the ground. "I'll play with you." Immediately, a fist rose up from below, knocking the traitor away. He spat blood, still unable to believe. "So strong, what kind of monster is he?" "I am the martial arts sect master." The traitor again exhausted his lifespan, not good. He frantically thought he had to be stronger. Han Kuang reminded the host to approach him. He couldn't let him continue leveling up. Now he was weak enough. "I will accompany your fist directly. Take away his equipment. His lifespan is about to run out." At this point, the traitor's eyes had lost focus. "I have to be stronger." At this moment, he remembered when he was young, the traitor was sitting in the corner crying. "The aristocratic family bullied me with their power. They had tormented me since childhood, even robbing me of my qualification to join the meeting." At that moment, a voice asked, "Do you want to transform?" Those words caught his attention. Everyone was there on the bookshelf with something glowing. I, the traitor, startled the scroll, seduced and persuaded. "You are the celestial chosen one. I am the one sent by the celestial Tao to help you. I can give you everything you want, help you take revenge, relieve your hatred, rise to the peak of the divine pearl. Just spend a bit of your life." The memories of the past overlapped with the astonishment of the present. The spirit only needed one punch to knock away the enemy. The traitor, while being beaten, questioned his life. "Why have I become stronger? Why do I still lose to an unknown person? Nay. Clearly, I am the celestial chosen one. But after you were defeated, a pile of fragments flew out, leaving the spirit astonished. Why did it shatter?" Han Kuang explained he was a one-time use item. After use, it can only break into fragments. After all, I have space now, I can piece the fragments together, then utilize them. It's still a bargain. At this moment, the traitor had no strength left to bully me. "You all bullied me based on what should it be so hard for me to transform? It's all your fault. I won't let you be at ease." He was annoyed, criticizing, almost out of breath, yet still talking so much. "You have done a lot of immoral things, and now you still pretend to be the victim." But he is still stubborn. "I only want what I deserve." Yet those from noble families have always enjoyed the resources and respect of the entire Lam family, while I have no power or influence, having been bullied since childhood. 2 years ago, it was extremely difficult to get into the Immortal Cultivation Academy. only to be replaced by someone impersonating me. Clearly, I tried just as hard. Why does no one see me? They are born noble while I was born lowly. I just want revenge. They tease me and trample on my face. Did I do something wrong? That painting is my only hope, but unfortunately, the spirit interrupts that. It is not your hope. It is the demon pulling you into the dark abyss. Taking revenge on the harmless is not revenge, but foolishness and shamelessness. You chose the wrong way to rise up. The traitor listened in shock. Finally, his eyes blurred with tears. I had no choice. The spirit continued. The doppelganger died, yet did not close his eyes. The soul can neutralize many types of physical and magical damage, but it cannot recover from the loss of lifespan. It can only be transferred out of his body. Han Kuang spoke indeed, it is tragic. You scoff, aren't those just your scam systems? And yet you exchange lifespan for props. It refutes that fake system making a scene. I am the genuine system. I would never let you lose lifespan. Come in here with me. The spirit was pulled into a pitch-dark space. You wondered, where is this? Han Kuang replied. It is my system's space. All the accumulated knowledge of my host is contained here, and later it will be organized a bit. The spirit sighed. Good, this library continues to ramble very little. The system will allow the host to enter the space. This system is a highly confidential secret, but we are the closest partners. I sincerely hope you can trust me. According to my investigation, this fake system is an exchange machine. Anyone inside will automatically seek a host. If the host sacrifices their life, it will provide props. I tried to trace the origin of the props, but as soon as I tried, it activated self-destruction. I cannot connect to the heavenly path. It must be related to the fake system. It also harms my reputation and distorts my name. From now on, whenever I encounter a fake system, I will kill it. It can also provide the necessary strength to upgrade your soul. Speaking of which, it suddenly exclaimed, just in time, the power is sufficient, now upgrade. Congratulations, the martial soul has leveled up to the earth rank. The spirit was surprised. Is it that casual? You've changed. You're too casual now. Wasn't there always a thunderous effect when leveling up before? Han Kuang replied. Back then, we just met. I wanted to build the image of a professional cool and cold system. Now you know how we are. What else do we need? Even if the spirit is angry, it still can't do anything? It took out something. Right, there's still the props. You still can't create advanced props, but I can piece together these fragments. Without the help of the heavenly path, I can only rely on myself to create advanced props. This requires a large amount of accumulated knowledge and energy. I have to read all the books here. He looked desperately at the pile of books. It pointed to itself. Right now, I am indeed very useless, but I can make up for it by working hard. Absolutely cannot lose to that shameless fake system. You must become the strongest man in the world, and I will become the strongest system in the world. Let's work hard together. The spirit was rummaging through the books, curiously asking, do you have books on raising pigs? Other animals are fine too. I want to try developing livestock. Han Kuang, upon hearing this, didn't know what to say. It pushed the spirit out of the space. Get lost. Suddenly a voice called out. The guide smiled. Ainong, how is it? Has everyone calmed down yet? He was panicking. We are calm, but the riot has destroyed more than half of the vegetable field. A crisis has destroyed the entire vegetable garden. Every little plant has fallen, unable to be saved from the water. Everyone is full of regretful wounds. Sorry, guide, we all went crazy back then. After we sobered up, we found everything was ruined. He said, you can punish us. The spirit holding a black knife frowned. You are also the victims. Why should I punish you? I want to take the life of that face slapper. Before Va calmed down, take it easy. So Huin Ainung hugged tightly. No way, guide, don't leave us behind. The food is very important, and this time it has been severely damaged. The main food grows slowly, and now the number of people in the camp is increasing. We are running out of food. If you leave, Hakchu will also be doomed. The spirit sighed. Sorry, I was too impulsive. I won't leave you behind. Running out of food is indeed very difficult to solve. I can't breed more. The main food seeds grow quickly from the ring. He took out something. Besides the spirit holding the corn with a determined look, he began to explain, corn grows quickly and is the main plant growing faster than all other plants. But I didn't plant it before. Truk Va asked, why not? The spirit raised it with a reluctant look. It doesn't taste good. It's bland, far inferior to regular corn, but it ripens very quickly. If everyone plants together, maybe we can hold out for a while. Gather the remaining food, inform the whole camp, and tomorrow we will plant corn together. Ainong replied, yes. While everyone was discussing, Q-hee was observing them. She had a fearful face, sweating profusely, and didn't say a word. Bao Huang pointed and said, "She is Diem Ho Truk Li." Reminded, "Why are you talking nonsense?" Q-hee panicked. Her face turned pale, revealing her true form. Everyone saw it. "What should we do now?" Yet the next morning a voice rang out, "What are you joking about?" Lam Kui was irritated. "And you all want me to farm? I am a princess. And what is this? Is this something for people to eat? Can this even be breakfast?" Ainung lowered her head, not daring to speak loudly. "Having boiled sweet potatoes is already good enough." She was angry. "You guys from Chioma, I was just captured by you as soon as I entered, and now you want me to farm. Damn it, I will destroy this camp." Hachkan hugged Lam Kui, and a voice cut through the chaos. "The order to farm is mine. You are not farming for Chioma, but for yourself." Suddenly someone called out to Thay, "So, and about the food I nung, tell them what you used to eat." He stammered and couldn't say, "Eat, I ate." He embarrassingly bowed his head and said to everyone, "Yes, I was really too hungry to eat. It's not like we always eat dung. It's not tasty at all. Most of the time it was eating human flesh." All three, Lam Kui, Tu Lin, and Hot Khan, were shocked to hear that. "That's terrifying." Ainung explained. Actually, there were originally food reserves, but those were the private goods of Hak Triu, the demon dynasty, and normally we are not allowed to eat them. After the teacher guided us to distribute those foods fairly, we farmed, and everything gradually got better. The spirit pushed the hoe toward her. "Now do you understand? Only by farming can we have good food. Hurry up and go farm." Lam Kui, with a defiant expression, didn't want to be a farmer. "Is it really farming? Can I do such lowly and dirty physical work?" he mocked. "So what do you want to do?" "We are farming now, Your Royal Highness." Lam Kui held her head high. "Isn't this common sense? I am the Princess of Jialam." The spirit lost patience. "Your Highness, the rules of Hak Trio Camp are to reap what you sow. No one is an exception. If you don't work, then don't eat. Let's just go plant good food." Hachkan immediately called him back. "Thay, so you turn around and advise the princess. Thay So is like that. Don't mind her, the subordinates will do all that work and won't let you go hungry." Lam Kui frowned. "Who cares? Talking like that to me, I remember him. Even if I starve to death, I won't eat a bite of his food. I want to see if he dares to let the princess starve." Hachkan was helpless, and the Princess Hang scolded, "Why do you have that attitude toward the princess? Your goodwill has decreased sharply." "If you rely on her to find the stone to break the wind," the spirit coldly replied, "I know about this, but I am the guide of the Hak Trio Camp. I must maintain fairness and cannot compromise. Once someone gets something for nothing, labor will no longer be glorious. Then what else is there to do?" Hang Kung slapped him once, saying, "In the end, it's all for farming. Think about your main mission. If you strategize them, I'll give you divine artifacts for farming." The spirit replied, "Strategize." He thought with a dangerous expression. "The so-called strategy is to make others fall into my area of expertise." The spirit guided everyone to start planting in the fields. First, spread the waste evenly. Place 2 to 3 seeds among the waste, maintaining distance from the waste. Otherwise, the seeds will be harmed and die from the waste. After completing the above steps, cover it back and water it. Curious about the method, can it really grow food like this? And you replied, "Yes." Then he quickly started digging the soil, "All right. I'll try it too." The spirit turned to look unsure of what to say when seeing how Hak Khan was doing it. "You called the head guard. You turn and answer. The teacher, don't worry. I will definitely do my part for the princess. I hope you don't deduct her food." The spirit explained, "I don't want to make things difficult for her. On the contrary, I have a way." Lam Kui felt wronged after arguing with you. It was all because of that spirit. After going outside, I will definitely tell the emperor and have that person locked up. Outside, there was a voice saying, "Good afternoon. You've worked hard. Come eat." The spirit was serious, hoping she would cooperate with me a little. At the house where Lam Kui was staying, she leaned on the window complaining, "I'm so hungry, yet being hungry is so uncomfortable." Thus everyone worked the fields, joyfully chatting and not feeling tired. Everyone worked happily together. By the way, you all heard what happened this morning, right? That princess doesn't do anything and still wants to eat. It's really laughable. Exactly, so shameless she deserves to be hungry. When she heard them talking about her, she got angry. You all are really bold, daring to gossip behind my back. Do you want to die? Hut Kang, stop, princess, calm down. Don't bother with them. You're hungry, aren't you? I brought lunch for you. Lam Kui stood her ground. I won't eat. Why are you helping outsiders like this? Don't be my head guard anymore unless that spirit comes here to kneel. I'm sorry, otherwise I will definitely not forgive you. Hot Khan was rejected. Your Highness, on the second evening of the competition, Lam Kui lay emaciated on the bed, her eyes dull, her cheeks hollow. I'm so hungry, why hasn't Hot Khan brought me food? She doesn't need me anymore. Lam Kui jumped up when she smelled a delicious aroma. She rushed outside. What is that smell? The spirit was sitting there roasting sweet potatoes, and when he saw her, he called out, Your Highness, seeing it's you. Lam Kui immediately closed the door. The spirit peeked through the window holding a sweet potato. Your Highness, don't close the door. I came to apologize to you. This is a small sweet potato. Consider it a token of sincerity. The aroma of the roasted sweet potato wafted into the room, hoping she wouldn't refuse. Lam Kui smelled it and could no longer control herself. She held a sweet potato in her hand, eating it voraciously. Tinthan then said, Eat slowly. Lam Kui continued to eat quickly after days of having nothing in her stomach. While eating, she thought to herself, I really have no prospects at all, but why does it taste so good? Lam Kui wiped her tears and raised her hand for another one. He handed her a sweet potato that wasn't fully cooked and said, Your Highness, this one isn't fully roasted. How about you roast it a bit more yourself? Stuff the sweet potato inside, wait for a stick of incense to finish cooking. She frowned. A stick of incense takes too long. Then she made a move, startling Tinthan. But you can't just burn it directly like that. It's all burnt, my sweet potato. He was in despair. It's all burnt. How am I supposed to perform now? Suddenly, a voice from Ainung rang out. Good evening. I've been farming all day and I'm so tired. Oh, dear Princess Instructor. Are you two roasting sweet potatoes? Is this sweet potato roasted by the princess? It looks burnt on the outside, soft on the inside, delicious, and just right. Can I have a taste? Tinthan helplessly said, Change the dialogue, would you? Are you blind? He held a sweet potato in his hand, so I'm not being polite anymore. Then he thought to himself, the instructor said no matter how the princess roasts it, I should compliment her. The first step is to encourage her to go out and work no matter how bad it tastes. I must support her. Taking a bite, her eyes suddenly lit up and her hair grew quickly. A sweet potato was just roasted. Under the charred skin was a soft texture, the fragrance touching the tip of her tongue, warming her internal organs in an instant. Ainung exclaimed, So delicious! Tinthan was surprised by this reaction. Ainung said, Your hair has grown longer. He quickly stuffed the sweet potato into his mouth. Tinthan, this is really good. Instructor, give it a try. He got to taste the roasted sweet potato, his eyes shining brightly. So delicious. And then Chiao Ma ran over, What eating sweet potatoes can make your hair grow? Let me try too. After everyone finished eating, their hair grew longer and their eyes brightened. They discussed, It's really delicious, even better than the one the instructor roasted. Moreover, it can also make your hair grow. For the first time, my hair is growing a lot. So it turns out the princess is that impressive. Tinthan praised, No wonder she is the princess of Jialam. After eating her sweet potato, I felt a surge of energy and my spirits lifted. Eating one piece can cultivate 20 acres of land. Lam Kui shyly said, Is it really that powerful? He raised the sweet potato. That's right. This is the greatest delicacy in history. Such a magnificent dish should be shared with everyone so that everyone can see that Jia Lam has a good princess with extraordinary skills and loves the people just like her. So that more people can enjoy this sweet potato, I sincerely request you, I hope you will become the head chef of Hak Trio Tri. The construction of the Black Tide camp cannot be without her. Everyone shouted, That's right, become the head chef. Lam Kui, hearing what everyone said, softened her heart. All right, I agree. The corner of her mouth couldn't be controlled. You all asked me, so I won't make it hard for you anymore. The whole group cheered. Great long live the princess. The dining hall was saved. Everyone celebrated when Lam Kui was in charge of cooking. The spirit of laughter was stable. A naturally gifted chef, her cooking was indeed not bad. Her martial soul is very suitable for cooking. It must be nurtured as a priority. Hang Kwang's anger made her have a good impression of you. Didn't you tell someone to teach her to be a chef? Are you trying to make me die of anger? Two people were hiding behind the tree, observing everything. Ba Huang was unwilling. This scoundrel managed to flatter the princess. Truck Li admitted we had no advantage at Black Tide Camp. The young princess couldn't suppress him either. Or should we directly leave the exam telling the judges that he colluded with DM Ho? Anyway, we have survived for more than 17 days, exceeding the record of all universities. The two looked at each other and nodded in agreement. Outside the exam hall where the scores were announced, every candidate was searching for their ranking. Some people wondered who this spirit was. I don't know what's going on with this black soil demon tide. 1 black soil demon tide spirit. 2 black soil demon tide. Thak Truckvo, 3 black soil demon tide 6. Han Chi 4, black soil demon. Tides children eating candy. 5 black soil demon tides. The examination monarch. Leem spoke up. According to the time in the secret realm, it's been 17 days. Why are there still so many candidates who haven't come out? Which family does this spirit belong to? Luke Min replied, according to the candidates who came out, the spirit of this exam has encountered an issue. It cannot actively move. Only by dying can one exit. The dead candidate was also a candidate from this exam. He was startled. What is this considered an exam incident? Leem thought carefully. Dead candidates were not uncommon. Every year there are several candidates who lose their lives. But if the deceased is a child of a noble family, then it would be a big problem. Thaktriat Va Tui Tiuling, and even the third princess. The safety of these people is important. Should the examination be temporarily suspended? A voice rang out. Examiner, the Black Soil Demon Tide has just released 2 more candidates saying they have something to report. Inciting the Demon Tide to force the princess to roast sweet potatoes, he also incited Thak Kung Tu Tui Tiu Tu and all candidates among them to farm. Everyone there was puzzled by this. On the wall hung a limited quantity sweet potato distribution board. Everyone was lining up orderly to receive sweet potatoes at the score announcement area. Everyone wondered about the farming issue. Luke Leem then thought, wait a minute. Forcing the princess, humiliating the royal family, manipulating the demon tide, colluding with the demon clan, colluding with DM Ho, colluding with the beast clan. He shouted, this kid wants to rebel. Quickly seal off the examination site. Capture the spirit. Someone ran over to report, my lord, we just conducted an inspection of the examination site and found that the sealing formation of the Black Earth Demon Tide can no longer operate. Lu Lim was startled and asked, what? Then he broke into a sweat thinking, the formation operating for inspection was personally designed by the sage of the Divine Kingdom, and it has never had any issues over the years. Why is it that this examination site encountered a problem with the spirit yet cannot be sealed? Could it all be the tricks of that spirit? He told them, go report to the royal family. Please gather a large number of cultivators, the royal-level forces that can repair the formation and the spirit. This person is no longer someone we can control. Jiao was walking under the pointed gazes of the crowd, discussing what he had heard. 2 people have already run out to report about DM Ho. After all, having been in the game long enough, there might even be a reward for reporting. They are quite scheming. What is this? Recently, DM Ho has been alone. Where has the spirit gone? It seems like he is teaching the princess how to cook, currying favor with her. That's right, no one wants to get involved with DM Ho. Smart people know how to keep themselves safe. The atmosphere there grew tense. A plate of vegetables was placed on the table. Master, this is the stir-fried cabbage I made using your method. Give it a taste. The spirit picked up a piece with chopsticks. Then I won't be polite any longer. You try it. Surprised by its flavor, the spirit commented, fresh, rich in flavor, much better than what I make. Your Highness, you truly have a talent. Lam Kui was genuinely delighted. Are you sure? Of course, this dish will definitely be added to the canteen menu so everyone can taste your Highness's cooking skills. No wonder you are our head chef. She denied, saying, no, not at all. Fortunately, you have been teaching me every day. Hach Khan was touched. Your Highness has learned to be humble. Lam Kui was pleased with the compliment. If that's the case, I must work even harder. She quickly went to gather firewood for the stove. Hach Khan was happy, not expecting the princess to enjoy cooking so much. I have never seen her so lively. She was silent for a while, as if realizing something, then suddenly panicked at the thought of Lam Kui and the spirit being in love. Could it be? Although this matter is very alluring, this relationship could face obstacles. Lam Kui hugged him. You must definitely marry him. I absolutely disagree. Suddenly a voice called her. The captain of the guards, Hach Khan, was thinking, as a subordinate, What should I do? Lam Kui's voice rang out. I feel like my master. You look a lot like my mother. Hach Khan was so surprised that he spat out water. She recounted, my mother really liked to cook. When she was alive, I often saw her personally go into the kitchen. Lam Kui's face was sorrowful. But my father didn't like her like that. He thinks cooking is the job of servants. Since the Empress passed away, my father and elder brother have been busy with court affairs and they spend less and less time with me, but they still pamper me very much. I have never had anyone scold me loudly, nor anyone who is as patient and gentle as the Empress. She wished, if only my master were a girl, that would be great. I want him to be my model mother. Kwahat Khan was at a loss for words. That's a terrifying thought. In a simple house, Hang Kong called to the host. Congratulations, your level of favor with the princess is sufficient. Mission accomplished. The spirit was joyful. Okay, is that so? Do you understand? It replied. Don't worry. I've been ready for a long time. I won't let you down. Everyone was working hard in the fields. Ainung sighed. I'm so tired I still have to go harvest corn today. Suddenly there was a sound that surprised everyone. Everyone was startled by the sound of that thing. A plow appeared much larger than the people standing there. Around them, everyone was gaping at the spirit driving it. What is this? He suddenly popped his head out to greet, Good morning, everyone. Amazed, the master instructor was stunned and asked, Brother, is this your machine? Tashi. The spirit immediately explained, This is called a plow, and it is also considered a type of machine. Q-Hee was still overwhelmed when suddenly being called out, Little Hai, you've been avoiding me these past few days. I've finally caught you. She was grabbed by the collar and pulled onto the vehicle like a chicken. Come on, let me show you the power of technology. The spirit started the machine. Let's go. Q-Hai felt terrified, trembling. I'm shaking too much. But he teased, This is a plow powered by spiritual energy. Do you feel your spiritual energy burning wildly? And she heard this both angry and annoyed. How dare you waste my spiritual energy? The spirit continued half-jokingly. I have to till this entire field. One person's spiritual energy isn't enough. Q-Hai secretly panicked. We've already plowed once, so doesn't that mean we want to go around the field again? He looked at her action in surprise. What are you doing down there? It's very dangerous. But Q-Hai stubbornly said, You mind your own business. Don't let others see us together. The spirit irritably asked back, What if they see? I told you if anything happens, I'll protect you. Trust me, your problems won't implicate me. It's not your fault that anything bad happens. Why be timid? She listened to those words, her eyes welling up with tears. He helplessly patted her. In the future, if you suffer any losses, you have to tell me. Sit tight. Watch me help you regain fairness. Outside, the vehicle was attached to loudspeaker. The spirit tried to cough a few times to test the sound, his voice resonating to attract everyone's attention. Everyone had a Chiu Ma paying attention to the sound of the instructor. Dian Tu was stunned. A machine. The spirit threatened and announced, Recently many people have been discussing. Little Hai behind said she is DM Ho. She isolated her. I see someone is overly full. What about DM Ho? Are you stealing rice and food from your house? If anyone pulls this trick again in the future, I invite you to leave the Black Dawn camp. In addition to let Tu-Hee feel the warmth of the world, the farm began to operate to protect Tu-Hai. No matter who it is, as long as they smile warmly at Tu-Hee every day, I will teach that person to ride a motorcycle every day. The first person to smile gets rewarded. She got annoyed and hit someone. Are you crazy? Suddenly, there was a voice calling from outside. Miss Hai! The group of Chiu Ma smiled brightly, trying hard to flatter. I told you I find her extremely adorable. I like you. Tiu Hua went all out, getting close to the door to confess, Tu Hai's sister, I love you. Let me also try out the machinery of the teacher a bit. The flattery echoed continuously. Miss Hai, I love you, Tu-Hee mommy's treasure. Are you expressing goodwill or asking for love? She blushed all over. Don't do that. In the medicinal herb garden, everyone was chatting excitedly. Have you seen the guide's motorcycle yet? I heard that just confessing to Miss Hai will let you play with that bike. The Chu Ma group was all eager. Really, I want to go confess too. I have to go take me with Tulin. Hearing the whole conversation, I'm secretly happy that Mr. So is taking action that's great. A few days ago, even I stayed far away, afraid of dragging others into it. This child must have suffered a lot before. At this moment, someone invited Miss Hai to go along. She hurriedly replied, "Coming." Kuhi was thus pursued by the Xiu Ma group for a confession. They eagerly took turns trying out the motorcycles while he leisurely played with the sword and Hang Kung comfortably drank coffee and read books. Lam Kui was showing off his cooking skills. These days, Trio Ma lived very carefree. As time passed, Ai Nung was carefully writing a book when suddenly Trio Ma came to inform Ai Nung, "The deputy guide is calling you." He immediately replied, "Coming." Ai Nung quickly left, leaving the book under the bright sunlight. One page of the book was filled with writing. The page recorded the diary of the guide who had been at Hak Trio camp for half a year now. Outside, the audience was getting anxious. There are still contestants who haven't come out they couldn't help but discuss. It has been nearly 7 hours since the exam began. At this point, it's already been half a year in exam time. This is too exaggerated. It seems like that spiritual owner is threatening them, unable to get out. The higher-ups have already summoned high-level cultivators. Meanwhile, a meeting is taking place. I heard that the 4 great clans also have people here. One of them shouted loudly, "How does your chief examiner control the exam?" Being overtaken by a nameless, insignificant person, it was none other than Bok Kan, the matriarch of the Bok family. "It's been almost 7 hours and we still can't go in. Right now, my son is still out there farming." She imagines the scene of her son being exploited, feeling uneasy inside. Moreover, a Vaw is both foolish and capable, surely seen as a cow to be driven. Luke Lim, a member of the Luke family, helplessly explains, "This time we really can't blame the chief examiner. To prevent cheating during the examination, one can only exit but not enter. This rule was established by Master Than Kwok. He is a powerful martial god and we cannot break his restrictions. We have already sought help from Master." They fell silent, and the atmosphere gradually became serious. He hurried to soothe, "Although we can't go in right now, every 12 hours the examination will automatically open, allowing for a new round of checks. You all don't need to be so tense. In 5 more hours, the examination will be able to open itself." Suddenly, someone interrupted him. "Then there's no need to worry too much. There are no members of the Luke family inside." Mrs. Hawk stood up, upset. 5 hours inside is like 5 months of suffering for my daughter. I heard she was forced to wear some kind of white coat every day doing this research, and that's stuck in the room without being able to go outside any day. Surely she is being mistreated. The rest sighed as well. The father of one examinee couldn't help but choke back tears. My son is also at this moment. The sound of a stick tapping broke the silence. Thuy Mak Huang, the head of the Thuy family, advised the master to return. Time is needed. The current situation is unclear. Everyone should not rush. I have a way to observe inside the examination. We can try it out. The scene shifts to inside the examination. Suddenly a tangled red thread appears, blocking the sunlight. In an instant, the red thread transformed into the shape of an eye. The 2 little demons below saw it and cursed in fear. "Damn, look at the sky. The sun has an eye now." The red-headed Deech quickly ran away. "Oh my," the other one ordered. "Quick, go call the guide." It turns out that the parents are observing the situation from above. She explained, "This formation can't be maintained for long, but it allows us to see what the kids are doing inside." Bok was anxiously staring. "With so many people, I can't find my son. Is the little demon's hair really that good?" "Hey, I see it now. The red hair is zooming in. This silly child is really causing a commotion. Oh my. Who is this out in the sun like this? Why do they look so flustered?" "I am his mother." The formation shifted and they continued to observe. "Wait, a bunch of little demons are surrounding a green-haired person. It's a Lan. He is surrounded by little demons, seemingly being protected. What kind of clothes is that?" Luke Lim suddenly pushed in from the left. "Move to the left." "What's that? Why is it running so fast? It seems to be a motorcycle running so fast." "Hey, a little one is getting out of the vehicle." A small figure jumps down. Ju Si squinted up at the sky. She took out her sunglasses to see clearly. Ju Si met a mischievous face and raised her middle finger affectionately, leaving the parents stunned by her audacity. The guide was not pleased. Miss Shi shrank back except for her movements protecting little Shi. He also tried other ways to make her more lively. The spirit of the people rose up with violence. If they have been bullied, they must resist. The initial strength to oppose me is not just being clever at home and foolish in the market. She was unconvinced and retaliated. "I won't be clever at home and foolish in the market for a long time. You got angry and taught, then act a bit domineering in the future. Anyone who looks down on her will get scolded by her. Come on, I'll teach you to show the middle finger." Xi felt confused. What does that mean? Under his efforts, Miss Shi gradually opened up again. Just opening up too much, she got tangled up. Ai Nong saw that action and was scared to sweat profusely. "Miss Shi, get away, I don't even know what this is. Be careful not to get hurt." She didn't care. This surely can't hurt anyone else. At that moment, someone called out to them. Little Shi and Ai Nong saw that it was Tu Lin coming, and she happily greeted Tui's sister. Tu Ling looked up at the sky, guessing this was a monitoring formation similar to the heavenly eye, so there was no need to be afraid. Looking at this bamboo formation, it might be made by my grandmother. I had doubts in my heart, but monitoring during the exam is against the exam regulations, so why would my grandmother... Little Lin turned back and asked, "Where is Mr. Chinsolt?" He honestly reported the guide is at the western riverbank of the camp. Earlier, he even told me to go over there. Hearing this, she invited, "Then let's go find him." Luke Lim had been following the situation and suspiciously looked at their relationship, which seemed quite good. Madam Ha quickly interjected, "It seems they are not in danger." "Find my daughter Ha Kan, I'm worried about her being mentally trapped all this time. She has always been a truly conservative child. Over here, an unfortunate fish got caught." Ha Kan in her swimsuit excitedly admired her catch. "I caught one." Bak Khan saw her fainted and panikedly shouted, "Madam Ha!" She turned pale, her voice trembling. "Why is this child dressed so scantily? What kind of decency is this?" Someone pressed points to save her and kept cheering, "Madam Ha, keep it up." Meanwhile, little Hoa also excitedly boasted, "Teacher, so caught a lot of fish. Let's go catch fish together." Tintan looked red-faced and did not respond. He was dizzy, pretending to be drunk, feeling too dizzy. Hang Kwang was much more straightforward. "Nice look more," Tintan regretted in his heart. If he had known earlier, he would have brought little Shi and the princess here. Suddenly, someone called out for everyone to look up there. Hovering in the air was the shape of an eye. The sun opened its eye. Someone asked in surprise what that was, and suddenly that eye closed, leaving only a red thread. It closed just as Xiaoling ran over to remind Mr. Jia that this might be a warning. Perhaps we should go outside. Observing during the exam is against the rules. Moreover, it goes against the rules set by the elders. It definitely won't last long. The losses are also great. Suddenly, the matriarch appeared outside the exam grounds and opened the heavenly eye. Something must have happened outside. We have been in here for half a year. It's time to go out. Before the battle, I was choked up, but I still want to farm. Lam Kui puffed out his cheeks and said, "I want to cook." Meanwhile, Ai Nong pleaded, "Please don't leave." She was also helpless. "But we came here to take the exam." Only you are silently pondering, fearing that those two have said something. The situation outside is not very optimistic. Tintan looked at the sad expression of Ju Shi and fell into deep thought. You tease her with a strand of hair. Over here, Xiaoling is still analyzing. We can't stay in here for a lifetime. Suddenly, Tintan interrupted and ordered, "No more arguing, pack up. Leave the secret realm early tomorrow morning." He couldn't believe it, jumped up. "Guide, explain clearly. If it's because of those two reporting that everything happened, then Black Exorcist Camp will also be hard to avoid blame. The longer we delay, the more variables there are. We must quickly go outside to resolve it." Ai Nong said, "There is no feast that doesn't end in this world. We have to leave sooner or later. I've taught everything that needs to be taught. Next, it's up to you." He had tears in his eyes. "I understand." The next morning, by the foot of a certain mountain, the group of spirits sent them off, continuously advising, "I can't bear it. The medicinal herbs from Old Stone Mountain are not as good as those grown by oneself. You take a little more." Miss Shui said, "I will definitely become a good doctor." Lam Kui, with red eyes, instructed, "Make sure to take care of everyone's meals." Tin Than was also sad, not knowing if there would still be an opportunity to farm after going outside. Ai Nong stood opposite, looking at him without saying anything. Ting Tun smiled, looking at him with trusting eyes. "You see, it's time to signal to prepare to leave. Don't cry anymore, it's not a farewell. The Qingshan will not change the flowing waters, still lead to a bright future." Ai Nong finally cried. The spirits beside them sobbed sadly. They were taken away. Only the spirit still smiled, promising to meet again.